Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Carolina Lightweight. Come get with us. When the action begins in the studio, our referees for tonight's event are Azul Out and Carolina Real Streamers. For the viewers in attendance and Facebook and YouTube users around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the Azul TV studio in Louisville, Texas, it's time! What's up, slime lovers?
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, guys? I got Jackson here. He's tugging at my pant leg, so I think he wants to be on the screen there. That's what that is. Jackson, hey, buddy.
Tonight we're going to be talking about why you catfish. What motivates you to fish. We got Rich Segarra with Operation Vets with Nets, also my Carolina Lakeways teammate. We got Patrick Gilliland, Ben and Tips Catfishing. Also, one of my teammates, Carolina Lakeweights. We got my boy River Chronicles, Charlie Villarreal, one of my hometown boys and fishing buddies. And we got James Rauscher, another one of my Carolina Lakeweights teammates. So appreciate you guys coming in. I know it's been crazy for a lot of people. A lot of people sick, a lot of people in the hospital right now. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll go through the list here in a minute, but we're going to start tonight's show off a little different. We're going to start off with a little healing prayer. For those that don't know, Rebecca had a heart attack about 4 or 5 days ago. She woke up complaining of pain, had to run to the hospital. One of her kidneys was working at 30%. They said she'd had a heart attack. One of the complications was blood clots, put her on thinners, and now she's back home. She went to Charleston today to see a specialist. They're just trying to get things figured out on what's going on with her. So we're going to say a prayer for her, but we got a lot of people that are, and I'm not going to go through all the names because I'm sure we're missing a few. James's wife, she went into the hospital, emergency room, and we're going to say a little prayer for her. My wife's going in for some stuff, exploratory stuff on the 11th. And then a lot of other people as well are hurting. So Rich is going to lead us off on the healing prayer tonight, and then we'll get this party started.
Heavenly Father, Lord, first of all, we give you thanks, honor, praise, and glory. Cross. Heavenly Father, we come to you knowing you are the Lord that you have designed each and every. You know us better than anyone else. Heavenly Father, I just pray through the hands of Jesus and the prayers of all our saints and our brothers and sisters, Lord, that you start that healing process, Father, that we know you're already doing. Lord, I pray for healings for all our folks out there, Lord. We've got a big catfish family out there, and we have a lot of folks going and having so many issues. Heavenly Father, I just pray healing from the top of their heads to their tippy toes, Lord. I pray that physicians, Lord, that you guide their hands, the nurses, the staff, Lord, but I also pray for their loved ones, Father, that you can give them some peace and let them know that you are in control of it all. Lord, I just, first of all, again, I thank you for all the healing that you're doing as we speak, Lord. And I pray that we don't speak all these illnesses into existence. We know you do miraculous things. Lord, I also pray for our service members and I pray for our leadership of this country and I pray for everybody in our catfish community, Heavenly Father, that you bless them, you bless their families, Lord, especially during a trying time For some, this time of year is so joyous. For others, it's very depressing. And there are the suicide rates go up, during this time of year, Heavenly Father. So I just pray you intervene in all of that. I pray that you use all of us, Father, to be your tool to help save somebody's life or just show them some love and compassion. And that may be the one thing that does save their lives, Heavenly Father. I thank you for all that you do. It's through Jesus' glorious, precious name that I pray. Amen.
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 Thank you, Rich. Let's start off by saying just, lift everybody up. Some people are doing great. Other people are not doing so great. So you never know what's going on in somebody else's life. And if you're struggling, don't be afraid to reach out to one of your friends, one of your teammates, and they'll lift you up. So I'm here for all you guys. And as far as anybody that's watching, y'all are all welcome to, if you need to reach out and talk to somebody, I'm here. So, you know how to get a hold of me. And
I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you just need to bend an ear. So, appreciate everybody coming on tonight. Let's run through the list and see who all is in here. So let's see here. We got Michael Eddy. What's up, buddy? That's one of my boys. We got Creole Catfishing. What's up, Jeremy? We got Eagle ITN, to one of our Operation Vets with Nets guys. We got Parker Pursuits, Jerry Parker, one of my Mad Cats teammates. Welcome in, Jerry. I think Jerry won some money. Jerry, you got lucky, buddy, because my son actually had the big fish and we forgot to video the release, so we didn't enter. He had a 50, high 50. Let's see here. Lauren, welcome. Facebook user, welcome. Pontoon Jody, welcome in. Appreciate you coming in. Rod Knockers Fishing, welcome in, buddy. Let's see. I think that's it. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Tonight's going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about why we fish, what motivates you to fish. I know there's many similarities in anglers. We all have that same passion to catfish, but we all come from different walks of life. The motivation and reasoning why we do this greatly differs. For some, it's an escape. It's just an escape from everyday life. For some, it's more
escape from my wife.
For some, it's an immersion into life. It's the opposite. So it's the connection with Mother Nature. It's a great way to spend time with friends and family. No matter what motivates you, there really is no better way to make lifetime memories. I'm sure everybody on panel can agree. I would say some of my favorite memories growing up was my first tackle box, my first big fish, my biggest fish ever. And I think it offers you a number of lessons in life, from the cycle of life. And the chance to learn is ongoing and it's never ending. There's something unique about fishing. You will never know everything.
That's absolutely true.
I want to encourage guys before we get going is to, if you go fishing a lot, step outside your comfort zone. Ask your neighbor who doesn't get to go fishing. Ask somebody who's got a kid who's never caught a good fish. If you see a guy at the ramp, invite him on the boat. Say, hey, they're not, they ain't catching much if they're over there sitting next to the ramp fishing. Bring them out on the boat, offer them a chance to catch some fish, make some memories. You never know what kind of friend you're going to make. I've become good friends with pretty much all you guys. Now me and Charlie are fishing buddies. I imagine we're going to fish together for the rest of our days. So,
And Action Jackson, don't forget my nephew. Action Jackson, he's a beast.
Rich is back.
Yeah, he's killing it.
I'm gonna have to come down there, Charlie. You have to put me on one of those big gar.
I'm telling you, come on down.
I'm only about 3 hours from you.
Oh man, really? Oh, come on, I'm gonna come get you then.
I live about an hour west of Wichita Falls.
Oh my God, that is not 3 hours away. That's like
Well,
2.5.
Okay, 2.5.
3. I used to be a district manager back in the day, and one of my stores was in Wichita Falls. I used to spend a lot of time out there.
Yeah,
And my
I
buddy
live
was out
about
there.
I live right
Oh, sorry.
outside Vernon, Texas.
Okay, do you know Mitch Burrows, the comedian?
No.
He look him up. He's a buddy of mine. He lives up in Wichita. I'm supposed to take him out one of these days, but he's busy with all his comedy stuff that he does. But yes, my brother, most definitely. So yeah, link up with me after the show today.
Okay.
Get my contact info.
Am I back in?
You're
You
back,
are
Rich.
back.
You're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Thank you. I had to go to my phone.
So one thing that's pretty similar with this group of guys is everybody here is very helpful. I've known you all for now, most of you over a year. Rich is probably my newest buddy. We hit it off from day one. We're going to be lifelong friends, just like this whole group is. So I love that you guys are helpful. Anybody who's asked me, hey, I'm struggling. And I'll say, well, what fishery do you fish? And one guy's, well, I fish up by Wichita Falls. Well, I know Patrick fishes up there. Let me get you in contact with Patrick. A guy called. He said, man, I'm having problems. I fish in Ohio. I said, well, I got a buddy, one of my teammates, James. He fishes your lake. Let me get you in contact with him. I gave him James's contact information. He contacted James. James is an open book to help the guy fish. I know Rich's heart because he's got a huge heart. He's always willing to help. We have conversations and just bounce ideas off each other, and we help each other navigate life. Probably more than the actual Operation Vets with Nets thing. So,
Yep.
I think that's cool. And I just want to say I appreciate each one of you guys' friendship and what y'all have brought into my life. It makes me a better person knowing you guys. So you're only as good as the people that surround you. And you guys, in my book, are top-notch, 100% good dudes. So
Well, thank you, Chris.
We appreciate that.
we got some more guys in here. We got Ripping Lips Fishing. We got Dink Over Stink. We got Voskin at Fish on Marine Electronics, my installer. All great guys. So appreciate you guys stopping in. So let's start it off. We'll start off here. Patrick's next to me. Patrick, how long you been fishing? I know you fish out West Texas. Well, it's not far West Texas because there ain't no fishing out there, but
I probably got back into fishing 6 or 7 years ago. Right after, well, actually, I was probably going through my divorce at the time.
Okay. So how did that help you get through all that?
It got me away from, when I first started, back, 6 or 7 years ago, I went out, I fished for, anything and everything, whatever wanted to bite, and ended up hooking into a 20-pound blue on a little bit crappie rig one day, totally swapped over, changed my gear.
You hooked
and
him
I've
or he
been,
hooked you?
Got both.
I about lost a rod that day. But for the last probably 4-5 years now, it's been nothing but catfish. And then the last 3 years, it's been tournaments and going out at least once a week, if not more, and hitting the bank, in the kayak, in the boat, whatever I'm feeling.
you're consistent. It don't matter whether you're in the kayak or the boat. Seem like you're always catching good fish. Now I know you're not on big fish fisheries, but for your fisheries, you're catching good fish. I measure that as, if you're able to go out and have pretty consistent success, everybody wants to catch fish. It ain't easy to do. So I respect what you do, man.
If I can go out and I can catch some fish, I'm happy. That's like the other day, I went up to this new lake. I was really looking for the big ones. I wanted to be like, yeah, I haven't been on this lake in 20 years and I found those tanks. But it just doesn't work out like that sometimes.
Buddy, that's fishing.
That's fishing.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having a certain amount of hope for catching something big. If you do catch some small ones, at least you feel you're getting some excitement out of that.
Yeah.
I know you're like me, where when I go fishing, I want to do well.
I do every time.
And it is about having fun, but if you're not doing well, how much fun are you really having?
Right. And me and my tournament partner, we have this running joke. Every tournament, we're always cracking up. We're like, fishing's supposed to be fun, and we're over here stressed out, can't get a bite. What is wrong with us? Why do we do this to ourselves?
It is. That is painful. But there's different styles of fishing. So, for instance, I've gone fishing with Charlie. We get to talking. We ain't even about the fish.
Yeah.
We're just over there talking about life. And to me, that's a fun way to fish too.
Yeah.
Really, to share with our war stories of life trials and tribulations. I'd say Charlie's one of my favorite people to fish with because he actually gets the fishing off my mind where, when I go, I'm about them damn fish. And if I'm not doing well, it's a bad day.
See,
Charlie we've gone and not done well. We still had a great time.
Yeah.
Sure did.
See, my tournament partner, he's brand new. When I met him about 6 months ago, he was a bass fisherman. That's all he fished for. And he came up from Abilene to one of my local lakes, and we met up. And he's out there bass fishing. I'm out there catching blues, right beside him. Next trip out, I was like, here, take a couple of my Mad Cat rods. Here's some bait. Let's go fish. And after that, man, he's got 8 Mad Cat rods.
Oh man, he's hooked.
He's got 8 Mad Cat rods. He brings 6 with him. When we go fish on the boat, he brings 6 of his rods with him. And
my buddies are like, Chris, you've cost me a fortune.
I'm
like,
and
you're welcome because I changed your life.
His biggest is 20 pounds off his kayak. And the last tournament we fished, he had the first 2 fish of the morning, and he was so happy. He's like, I might actually be able to get a bigger fish than you. Well, about 1:30 in the afternoon, I hooked into one that was about 35. I was like, not today. He's like, you always got to outdo me. But he's a real good guy. Both me and him are both veterans. We get along real good, so it works out.
Yeah, you got that brotherhood, you got that camaraderie, and you got that common bond. Charlie's a veteran. I'm not a veteran, but I enjoyed hanging out with Charlie and hearing his war stories. And I got a bunch of buddies that were, Army Rangers and 101st Airborne and Special Forces, and I enjoy being around those guys. We get along great. Even though I never did any of that stuff, but I've been in quite a few battles myself, just not those kind of battles.
I was just an Army grunt.
Charlie,
nice.
Tell us a little bit about your background. We won't get too heavily into it tonight, but just tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and how you got into catfishing.
Well, first of all, I just want to tell you that whatever y'all guys are going through, man, God's got your back. I'm telling
Yes.
you. I can't stress that enough. Uh, I'm telling you, my sister was just texting me as we were praying. So we got y'all's back. Just want y'all to know that we're sending prayers you guys' way and stuff like that. So he's got your back, man. I'm telling you. He's always had mine, regardless of whatever I was experiencing. But a little bit about me. I'm Charlie. I'm born and raised here in Dallas, Texas. I've been fishing. I always say 5 years old, but I really don't know. I have a feeling it was way before then. But we used to fish for different species with my uncles and my stepdad. And, we've been mostly bait fishermen all our lives. We grew up in Pleasant Grove, which isn't too pleasant, but it's kind of way below the poverty line. It still actually is. But we did a lot of that. And, like Chris was saying earlier, fishing means different things. And I know earlier fishing's fun, fishing's fun. I mean, I'm gonna go against status quo. Fishing ain't always fun. Right? Sometimes we're miserable out there. Look, I'm just saying, right? It's a disclaimer. Everything's different. But the thing about me, which I know I'm a little different, everyone's unique, but when I catch a fish, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. Like Chris was saying, like, okay, like we have a blast. Like when we went and did the video, we caught so many fish. But to me, I guess because I think outside the box a little bit. So I'm like, we're in Lake Texoma, which is a massive lake, and it's like 80 feet deep. And we managed to catch a fish using a little bit of bait and a little hook in this huge expanse of water. And to me, that's like super, super freaking awesome because it's like, how can we possibly do that when we're way up here floating on a boat? All right. So, and that's what fishing comes in to me because unfortunately, I have no hopes when I go fishing, like zero. Because for me, it's not really necessarily about the fishing, it's more about the journey to the fishing. And I know that might sound a little weird to all you high level fishermen out there, but it's the stuff that I go through to prepare that starts days in advance. I'm looking at the wind, at the weather. Okay, which way is the wind blowing? Can I do this? Do I have bait? I'm a little older, so I need a checklist. Depending if I'm bait fishing or I'm on the boat and stuff like that. So I'm sure we'll talk about that a little further. But yesterday I was on another podcast, and fishing saved my life. I really needed it. So I could answer that question of the topic today. Why do you fish?
I
'Cause
think
I need it.
fishermen are a little bit crazy, Charlie, and I see a common thread in fishing. It saved probably
Exactly.
everyone's life in
It's because we need
Montana.
it. We need it. It might be for different types of things, but that's why myself personally, is that when I go out there, I'm gonna go and see what happens. And then when it happens, I might not necessarily express it like in the videos and stuff that I do. But when it happens, sometimes I'm in tears, guys. Like, I'm like, God, I caught
I
this freaking
relate.
fish. And that's what's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been fishing in Dallas, Texas forever. I was in the Army for just under 10 years. But man, I can't talk about fishing enough because it's my number one obsession. My second one is filmmaking and storytelling. And I think each one of you guys over there, Chris, Patrick, James, everybody, Rich, everybody has their own story. And I think that's what's so freaking awesome. Because when you do get with people and you do go out there and you build that camaraderie, you get to hear about them and their family and the dynamic of what makes their wheels turn in their own environment, right? Because we're all different backgrounds, blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. But I think that's what's so.
Brotherhood,
There you
that
go.
brotherhood, that bond you build. It's almost like when you're a kid and you're going up against some guys and you got to go back to back with your buddy, like this. And
Yeah.
after you've made it through, you're forged in fire and you're forever bonded to your buddy. You're like, I know that guy's got my back. And I think it's similar in fishing. When you go fishing with the right guys, you build that bond through the battle.
Yeah. And that's like, if you guys follow me or seen my videos and stuff, it's that I'm kind of getting away from like the catches stuff. It's more like a story. I use a whole bunch of cameras when I'm out there. I use 3 cameras, and because I'm trying to capture every aspect. of it because you don't know what you're going to actually capture, right? So, and the more footage that you have, the more avenues that you have to actually build a story. And Chris will tell you, I've been out there with him, and I'm just out there filming. And
Yeah.
I'm just watching because if I
Yeah,
go with someone,
you're
I
enjoying
want
the
them to catch it.
journey.
I want to film it.
You enjoy the journey while it's happening. I enjoy sharing the journey.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm about the fish. But through all that, I enjoy sharing my journey with others.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually immersed in the now the entire time you're there. Where I'm just like eaten up by the fishing part of it.
Yeah.
It chews my mind to pieces. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up, and it's the last thing I think about when I go to bed. I'm sick with it, and I've never been able to shake it. So, my buddy Jeff Gordon said he told his wife he's going to get their kids addicted to fishing, and they won't be able to afford anything else.
You ain't lying. That's the truth.
Yeah. It gets pretty expensive pretty quick.
Oh, it does.
Oh yeah.
It's funny as Matt was, people talk about getting rods or someone buys a Mad Cat's rod. As some of you guys know, I'm down here in South Carolina for a business trip. And so I decided to take a couple of personal days as well. And so yesterday, I'm a very long day on the road. But so I stopped by, never been. So I stopped by Mad Cat's Outdoors.
Do you bring a trailer?
Right?
Well, yeah, needless to say, I do. I'm going home with a lot more rods than I left with.
Yeah.
And and a few other things. And it's great. I only had a short time with Matt, and we're discussing a bunch of things. But yeah, and then I walk in, I'm like, because I've got, if you guys have seen most of my videos and stuff like that, or see me live, because of the theme of the boat and the theme of Operation Best Witness, I mainly fish with all Patriot rods. And
Look at these, Rich. Speak to the
that?
devil. Just won a couple of these off Mad Cats. I'm going to give these to my buddy Matt Mosley for being such an awesome friend.
That's the carbine one, right?
Now these are just the regular Patriot.
Oh yeah, that's what I mainly fish with. And so
they're sweet looking, man.
They are. And so I get there and I'm like, man, I said, so I got some carbide Patriot rods and a few others. And I
got some carbines or carbine.
Something.
I always get it wrong.
Yeah, and I'm looking, I'm like, man, they're sweet looking. And so now I'm starting to do more night fishing. So I got some rods that give me a little glowy glow. But so I stopped there, and it's and again, we talk about fishing with the about sometimes it's the destination, how you get in there, and the story and all that. That's how all day was yesterday. And so then I get to my office, and I don't see you guys but once or twice a year, because you're down here in Charleston, and they're all coming and looking at, because they all know what I do, Operation Best. They all come out and checking out the truck, and they're looking inside because, as you guys seen, I got a lot of wrap vinyl work done to the truck, and then they're looking and they're seeing all the rods in there, and they're seeing everything, and then they're asking stories, and it's and one guy asked me specifically what we're going to talk about tonight. He says, why do you do it? And I got into it, and into why I do what I do. And there's multiple reasons. And like, dude, man, that's incredible. He said, you plan on doing any fishing while you're here? I said, if you look, I've got some Smackdown bank rod holders with me. I said, so yes. And then Saturday, one of our brothers with Operation Vetswinets, Michael Harris, is taking me, and we're going to be fishing the Cooper River. So my wife asked me, so when you coming home? I said, I'll be home about, yep. She goes, when
love
you
these Smackdown rod holders, man.
Right. She goes, when are you going to be home? I said, about 1 o'clock Sunday. And she goes, man, you're there a pretty long time this trip. She goes, oh, wait, never mind. Who do you know down there and how long are you going to be fishing?
So everybody, I think at this point probably knows Rich. He's the founder of Operation Vets with Nets. He's a Navy veteran, and I know why he fishes. But Rich, why don't you share with everybody why you fish and what your motivation with fishing is, and then tell us a little bit how long you've been doing it and all that. So,
yeah, well, I've only been fishing. I mean, I used to fish years ago, but I only been really steadily fishing now for 4 years now. Caught my first catfish in the early spring of 19, and was hooked ever since. And I guess, well, I mean, I have multiple reasons. One thing for me personally, and you guys will see it on our swag, you'll see it on our website, you'll hear me say it all the time. Real therapy. I go out. I have a very, very stressful job. I manage millions of dollars. I'm a project manager. My job is very, very stressful. And I'm also 100% disabled. So I got all kinds of. And so for me personally, the fishing was my way of de-stressing. That's how it started. It was my way of just putting life's stressors behind me and just going out and getting on the water. And as we talked about earlier, at times I'm more stressed out on the water trying to catch fish.
I was going to say, Rich, fishing is therapy, but damn, it's stressful sometimes.
Well,
absolutely.
It is. And you're exactly right. Especially when I have vets on board and the bite is slow. It's very stressful for me because I'm trying to figure out patterns. I'm trying to get us.
Yeah. And you want to do well for others. I fish with a lot of people, and I think you put a little extra pressure on yourself when you got people on board because they see what you've been doing and they're like, they got really high expectations. You just want to do well for them. So,
and the blessing is
stressful.
With some of them, all they want to do is catch some eaters, which I never have a problem doing that.
Yeah.
And
not too many of my friends want to do that. So
I don't like to do it, but you know what? It's not about me when we're on the water with somebody.
Absolutely.
And,
I'm shooting for PBs. If I got a guest on the boat, the first thing I ask them, what's your PB? And they're like 28 pounds. I'm like, we're getting that. We're going for 28 pound plus today. So,
well, a lot of the folks I take out, I asked one guy, PB, he said, what's that? What's your personal best in the catfish? He said about 2 pounds.
Oh, well, that's an easy one. That's
easy one. So I think and some people, this guy never caught a catfish before, and I put him on a 30 pounder. So, I mean, but
I think, for me, my way I look at it is that PB trip is probably out of all your fishing trips, those are some of the most memorable ever.
They are. Yep.
Ever.
Yeah.
And,
I disagree with that.
Now, I've smashed my PB so many times, but I still remember those first ones. When I was 15, 14, I caught a big fish. I'm like, I remember that like it was yesterday. And I know the feeling that people get when they get that. And I just want to be the person that gives them that. You know what I'm saying?
And I hear you. I hear you. And I'm with you in a lot of that aspect. But what keeps me every day wanting to get on the water is, it's very therapeutic for me. I've got a really bad back, and so there's times I can barely, stand up straight or pick up my granddaughter, and if I'm stressed out because of that, then my wife will even be like, you need to go to the lake house, get on the water. And as much
Thank you.
I'll be getting out there. Yeah, exactly. I'll be getting out there in nothing but pain. But the time I get back, if I'm with somebody or by myself, the time I get back, it doesn't hurt as much. I can move around better.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm de-stressing.
Yeah.
And so that's what's good for me.
Yeah.
But why I really, 2 years ago when I started Operation Vetsquinets, my whole purpose in being and the fishing world completely shifted. And it was that first trip, and I saw, and I didn't know, my buddy had severe PTSD. And so seeing the expression on his face, seeing how he was able to decompress, and the conversations we got in, and when his wife called me days later saying, "Thank you, you gave my husband back," I'm like,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I wasn't going to leave him at the lake. And she goes, no. She goes, Ollie came back, and since the last 4 days, he's been talking about your trip.
Yeah.
And more
And
enjoyable.
that makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It does, and that's therapeutic for me.
That's it right there. I mean, taking other people and giving them that's therapy for you.
It is. And that's how Operation Vetsquinets started from that.
Those endorphins that you released while you're on the water, when you have a good day, they are released every time you remember. You're still getting that same endorphin rush. Like we had my buddy Danimal on the boat 2 weekends ago. A weekend before last, we went to Texoma. His 7-year-old caught a 46-pounder. And he battled that thing like it was like Moby Dick on the line. And to me, I just thought that was the coolest freaking thing in the world, watching that 7-year-old bust that big old tank. And Dan was like, man, these kids, we never got to do anything like this when we were kids. I'm like, yeah, I hope they remember it. I certainly will. To me, maybe I'm selfish because I love it. I felt just so awesome for that kid.
Build those memories like you're talking about, and these could be lifelong memories. I mean, I sit there and I'll have vets on the boat, and I got the lights out. We're just relaxing, talking about life, and the next thing you know, they're getting into some of the stressors and the demons that they're battling. And we spent a lot of time in prayer, and everybody who knows me, I'm a talker. You can't shut me up. I'm a talker. But when it comes to those trips, man, it's like the mic shuts off, my ears turn on, and I listen. And then, I was sitting there, and one trip this year, the cat is sharing his story with me and what demons he's battling and how he feels that he's alone in the huh?
No,
And
go
so,
ahead. Sorry.
And so he's telling me how he feels alone in this world, and that if it wasn't for that trip, him coming out to that trip, he woke up that morning, was ready to bite a bullet. He turned around and looked at me, dude, I'm sobbing like a baby. I mean, I'm crying. He starts crying. We're holding each other. We're talking about, we're talking about, that he doesn't have to battle this battle alone, and as we're doing that, the reel starts screaming. We put a 35-pounder in the boat.
That's God on the line right there.
Yeah. And so that's why I do what I do, is so I can help, and I'm just a tool. So I can be that tool that God's using to interact and intervene and be there for somebody if it's out on the water fishing. And fishing, there's so much science behind and research on the therapeutic aspects of fishing, and I've also have had vets on where they brought their family, their wife and their kid, or the wife and a couple of kids. And that's a time where we're healing, we're building those memories as a family together, lifelong memories. That's what it's about. That, to me, if that's all that God uses me for the rest of my life, besides driving my wife crazy, but to be there and be his vessel to help these veterans go through what they go through, and to help them and be there for them, even if it's just a sounding board, or somebody they can pick up the phone and call, God forbid, something traumatic's going on. That's it. There, because Chris, you've heard me say it. I know Patrick's heard me say it. I don't give a shit if anybody remembers who Rich Segarra is. The only two people I care to remember my name is my wife, because I don't want her calling out somebody else's name. And when I get called home, I hear, Rich, well done, my good and faithful servant. That's it. I could care less if anybody else remembers my name. But if they remember what Operation Vets with Nets did for those veterans, that's all I care about.
Absolutely.
I think that's beautiful. That's much respect.
To get on the water.
I think that's pretty awesome, buddy. So James from Ohio.
Yes, sir.
I know he's been fishing probably his whole life, but tell us your background, James. Where you fish, what your home fisheries are, how long you been doing it.
Buddy. I started fishing real early on with my grandpa. We started out, kind of fishing anything that would bite. And then I got into muskie fishing a little bit. Because we have a lake up near here that has a pretty good population of muskie. After that, I've always I've caught catfish, and up until about, I don't know, I'd say 15 years ago, none of the areas around here were real popular for catfish, but in 2011 they started stocking blue cats at my home lake that I live 4 minutes away from. They started stocking them, and they've just continued to grow and grow and grow and grow. Well, I caught my first one over 30 pounds, I think probably 6 years ago. And I've been hooked on cats ever since. Now, originally, fishing was, as most people would take it, that was my release and kind of my way to ground myself and get out and, just get away from the stresses of life. But, now our catfish population, I fish my home lake. My home lake's Hoover Reservoir in Central Ohio. But I fish all over Ohio. I fish out of state. I do all kinds of different types of waters. So
you've got into tournament fishing, so there's got to be something that draws you to that. How come you like tournament fishing?
I started tournament fishing just to kind of actually broaden my horizons, get to explore different waters, get to explore different, different types of things. Basically I did that to push myself to become a better fisherman, starting out. And then now, honestly, the camaraderie, you meet so many different walks of life, so many great people. And the catfish community is hands down probably one of the best fishing communities in the world.
Amen there.
It's just, I got big into tournament fishing. And, around my home lake, I like to take what I know, and I like to grow our sport. That's what my focus is now, is growing our sport the responsible way.
I think that's awesome, James. I like helping young guys with kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I catch a lot of shit for it. Tell you the truth, guys. Like, why are you helping these people? You're ruining the lake. You're ruining these Texas fisheries. Telling all these people the secrets. I'm like, well, I do make sure that they turn the fish loose. So
Yeah, I practice that pretty heavily. You know, as you were saying, catching eaters. I don't get that a whole lot in my lake because a lot of people in our area, they just want to catch a big fish.
yeah.
And then, you know, we just put it right back. And I
Look at it. What's wrong with helping somebody catch one if they're going to put it right back? 2 days
Yep.
later, I can go catch the same fish.
Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, that's real big on why I do what I do now, especially around here, is to teach the younger generation and teach them, you know, the best way to do it. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to catfish. You know, you can have the best gear, you can have the worst gear, you're still going to catch a fish. But you know, like if you can teach them, you know, like especially I don't know about you guys, but up here when we pull from deep water, it even goes as detailed as, you know, burping fish when you're pulling them up fast and deep. You know, like a lot of people don't know that. So
I have so many people say, "What are you doing with that fish right now?" And like when I do a live stream or something, they'll be like, "Because we fish in the winter a lot," and they're like, what are you doing with that tube?" So you educate. I tell people on my live streams, if you don't know how to burp a fish, you probably shouldn't even be trying to catch one yet. Because if you do catch this giant fish and you don't know how to properly take care of it, you're killing it. There's a good chance, not all the time, but if you're pulling them up from out deep, there's a good chance you're going to kill that fish. And if you've got good intentions on trying to progress the sport, you do need to know how to properly handle fish so that they go back into the water happy and healthy, so that people like my son can go catch one. People like James's boy can go catch one. Otherwise, you can destroy a fishery pretty quick if you're taking care of the fish.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, just kind of the mix of everything. You know, I've fished now quite often. I try to fish 3 or 4 times a week. You know, not so much right now just due to what's going on, but yeah, I mean, I try to get out and, you know, if I can't get on fish, at least I can teach somebody, you know, something about fishing. So,
you know, a lot of guys don't really realize how long it takes a fish to get big. You know, a 10 pounder is 12 years old, generally. 12 years to get to 10 pounds. So, you know, if he's 30 pounds, he's probably closer to 20 years old. And you take the fish out that's 20 years old, it's not just quickly replaced. There's not a ton of those aged fish in a fishery. And those fish need to be protected. And the only way that you're going to protect them is by educating these younger anglers. I believe the older guys are set in their ways. Most of them that don't care.
I've changed quite a few minds. I can tell you that. So
a lot of them just want to battle you, though.
Yeah, it is a battle, but you know, that's a battle I'm willing to take.
Yep, I'm on the front lines, buddy. I take a lot of it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
What we do, we also, I don't know about y'all, but we have a big problem with pay lakes here, and another real big thing that why I catfish and do what I do is to spread awareness against what pay lakes are doing.
You know, the pay lakes that are up there have a negative impact on all the states around them, and not only just the states immediately surrounding them. These pay lake guys that harvest them will go 2 states over and harvest their fish and put them in tankers. And I know for a fact, because the Texas, they tried to change the laws about 11, 12 years ago. Well, they did change the regulations and put slot limits on a lot of our stuff, because Pay Lakers were coming from Arkansas and from up north and bringing their tanker trucks, jugging all our fish out, put them in tanker trucks, and I mean, jugging them for a week, two weeks at a time until they got a whole tanker load of our fish, and then carting them off. And my buddy's like Ian Tipton. He's supposed to come on the show tonight, and he's like, "Yeah, you're lucky. You fish one of the best fisheries in the country." I'm like, "You're going off publications from 40 years ago. My lake sucks, man. We got cleaned out by the Pay Lakers." And
we've got it pretty rough around here too. They've completely taken out of our river, the Ohio River. I mean, now it used to be nothing to catch, 70 pounders.
Yeah.
That was a common occurrence. And now, you're lucky to catch a 40, a 45, and, a 70 pounder up there is a once in a lifetime fish for a lot of people. So it's just, it's sad what it's done to our fishery. But the only thing we can do is spread awareness on that.
Slowly too. Yeah. Because this ain't bass. A bass gets big in 5 years. Catfish gets big in 30. So let's say, okay, now today we're going to fix it. Okay, well, we're going to fix it today. And in 20 years, we'll see the benefit of it. Maybe in 10, but really it's a 20-year deal. Once you're screwed up like Ohio, it's going to be a long time for y'all get back to where,
Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate here that I've caught, several over 50s, a couple over 60 here in the state. So, like those are personal bests for me for this state, and for a lot of people, those are people's dream fish, but I put in a lot of work fishing here. So, it's crazy to see, some of these fish that come out, that are still making it and thriving, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is to keep those fish thriving.
I'll see these boatloads of these guys. I guess they're using hoop nets and stuff, and the boat is literally they don't even have any room left in the boat. It's just stacked full of big fish. I'm like, holy crap! That's just, man, that's sorry.
Derek said it. It's happening down where he's at. It's happening down in Gaston. Is the commercial guys are coming out. They're throwing trout lines. I've sat there, go out at night, and I'm cutting trout lines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our best fishery was Lake Tawakoni, and I told guys for years, they're cleaning the lake out. You got to stand up for these big fish. And guys were like, they want to keep their mouth shut. And it seemed like only the guys that are killing them, they would band together. So when someone would speak out, they would all team up on that guy rather than all the guys who want to protect the fish. If we would have all banded together, maybe we could have helped silence some of that opposition. But here we are. It's been probably 7 years now, and they totally destroyed our best fishery. It sucks now. It used to be epic. And in a very short time, it's completely been destroyed, which to me is a crime. But we're getting off on a negative note. Charlie?
Yes, sir.
Give us something good to feel about, bro.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, I'm looking down because I'm getting people like, you guys are off topic and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, well, but I'll tell you what do you call two Mexican dudes playing basketball?
What?
You call them Juan on Juan. Come on. Juan on Juan, right?
Yeah.
No, sorry about that, guys. Palex, I don't even want to go there. Everyone knows what that's about. I get it. Some people live in those communities where it's about that. But why do we fish? Patrick, Chris, Charlie, Rich.
I fish for the pure love of it. Sharing the experience with my son is probably my number one thing. I enjoy trying to pass that on to other fathers who are trying to do that
Yeah.
with their son. And I know I'm probably very misunderstood why, what my intentions on fishing are, but it's any of you guys that have fished with me, Charlie, you fish with me. I give up every secret. I'll give up every pin. I will
I'm the
tell
same
you
way.
exactly where I caught them. And
Yep.
guys that come and I'll take anyone fishing. I'll take the toothless guy that's sitting at the shore. I'll ask him to go fishing. Anybody here, if they ask me to go, I will never say no, unless I'm not going that weekend.
Yep.
I'll never ask for a penny. I won't accept payment of any kind, no gas money, nothing. I do it just because it's fun. I enjoy it, and I want someone else to feel basically what the joy that I get from it.
There you go.
Yeah,
And what you just described,
absolutely.
Chris, is the journey.
Yeah.
It's like you might have a set plan, because I plan a lot, but sometimes something like that might happen. You'll meet someone and then boom, now your plan's different. And that's the journey, and that's what makes it amazing.
So what drives you, Charlie?
Well, here's the thing with me. What drives me is that I need the water. I don't need the fish. I need the water. Right?
Yeah.
It's the process of the water. When I catch a fish, maybe I'll make a video one day and I'm going to speak out loud versus what I'm feeling inside. And that's why I said about that size. For me, it doesn't matter. I'm just happy I caught a freaking fish, because I'm like, it's like a needle in a haystack. Right? And on top of that, I don't have a graph. I don't have the nice trolling motor you can go. I have drips off and stuff like that. When I catch one, regardless of size, I'm like, I just accomplished something freaking spectacular. Right? And I'm just amazed by it. And I get really amazed by that. And that's why y'all see me holding up these little bitty fish like they're monsters. And, and I'll put a little tag on there, monster, ginormous, or Leviathan, whatever, because I believe, because when I went out there, I had no expectation to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. When you go with some, like when I went with my daughters, of course, I want to try to catch something more and try a little harder. But for me, like you asked me, it's the water, that journey. Why do I need this? It's like,
so what's you guys' favorite part of the trip? Now, I'll say what my favorite part. I got two of my favorite part, and it's not even about the catching the fish. Number one, it's when I'm up in the parking lot that morning. The sun's coming up. My son has just put on his life jacket. I put his jersey on, and he goes and stands up in the boat, and he's getting ready. To me, that's one of the best feelings in the morning, because you don't know what's about to happen. I have a real high hope of we're about to go do something special. We're going to go make these great memories. And then my second favorite part of the day is when we are in the boat. I pull it off of the trailer, and I'm motoring over to the courtesy dock, and my son's standing on the front. The sun's barely coming up, and we're about to go tie off to the dock. There's just something magical about that part of my trip every weekend that it's just, I just love that, man. I don't know why. Just my favorite part. It's one of my favorite things in life is seeing that kid sitting up there as we're about to go tie off and go have who knows what kind of adventure. Where are we going to go? We can go here, going to go there. Possibilities are limitless.
Yep. And that's
I
the
think
thing.
I think my favorite part is close to that, because it's seeing my boy progress into knowing what to do with the boat. And like same when we launched the boat, without missing a beat now, like I don't even have to show him anymore. He can tie off, he holds, and now, like, because we have the auto deploy on our trolling motor, he'll be like, Dad, can I have the remote? And he'll just take the remote and he'll move the boat around with the remote,
Isn't it a great feeling when there's somebody at the dock and they see your boy doing all that and they're like, holy cow.
Like,
impressive.
It's not really like trying to show off, but like,
no, it's not,
really know
it's
that
a sense of I don't know what the word would me. Not really accomplishment, but it's just you're proud. I'm
Yeah.
just super proud at that moment. Like,
Mhm.
man,
Yeah.
it's been a long process to get him to do all that. And
Oh yeah, it took a
Yeah.
while. Hey, I hate to cut you all short. Her transport just showed up, so I gotta hop
yeah,
off here.
appreciate you coming on, James. We'll keep you in our prayers. We'll pray for your wife. So I enjoyed
All right.
it, man.
I appreciate you all.
Welcome
You
back
all have a wonderful
anytime. We'll
night.
get you on soon when after your wife gets healed up, and we'll do just a show with us.
All
Yeah.
right. I appreciate y'all.
All right, buddy.
Prayers
Yeah,
out.
ya.
we'll see you, James. Prayers with
Bye.
you guys.
The animal says his son gets bored while fishing. Well, that's all kids. I don't know any kid that will sit there for 7 hours and not get bored. That's
You're
part
right.
of it.
I've never met one.
It's a cycle, and
Well, see, I don't
gotta
get to
try
fish.
to have fun.
I don't get to fish with my daughter, so all that often, especially since they moved up to Colorado here recently. But I had her down here for Thanksgiving break, and she was down here. I think she was down here her second day. I was like, you know what? It was a Sunday. I was like, we're gonna go to the lake for a little while. And we went. We packed up. We drove down, do a little bank fishing. I had the proud dad. She pulled in a 35-pound flathead from the bank by herself.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Biggest fish she's ever caught. I think that might be the third fish she's ever caught.
So how old is she?
14.
She's able. Well, I mean, 14. You're pretty good size, but so she's able to battle that 35-pounder, no problem.
Yeah. She got it all but the last 5 feet. I helped her get it up over the rocks and stuff. But she's a girly girl. She would not touch it unless she was wearing gloves. I got her to hold it, but she had to have gloves. And as soon as we released the fish, she took her hoodie off, put the hoodie in the bed of the truck because it was covered with slime, and she went and sat in the front of the truck.
Some days my son doesn't want to get slimy, but other days he's over there hugging it and licking it. I'm like, you never know what you're going to get from a little kid. But we got Jesse Campbell in the house. What's up, Jesse?
Just say,
Jesse's been on him. Jesse's been on him. Well, everybody's been on him pretty good lately, but welcome in, buddy.
Glad to be here. Sorry, a little late. Work late.
It's all good, man. We're having a good old time. So why don't you tell everybody? I know we've had you on the show before, but for the guys that don't know you, tell us a quick background and how long you've been doing it, and then it kind of tell us why you catfish.
I got real heavy into it when I bought my boat about 4 years ago. I catfish, I guess, when I was younger. I caught a pretty big flathead on Texoma, about 20 pounds, but I was pretty young and just been hooked ever since.
That'll do it.
Yes, sir. And then, I was bass fishing a little bit, and I catch a flathead here and there while I was bass fishing off lures in the creek. And I've always loved the catfish. That's my go-to for sure.
Yeah, I like catfishing because you can just relax, and we all probably come from bass fishing, especially us Texas guys. I mean, bass is king in Texas. I just get tired of doing this for 7 hours straight.
Yeah, I'd rather hang out, drink a beer, catch a catfish, grill. Just everything you can't do when you're bass fishing. But
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. But also bass fishing is you're catching. The biggest is like a 10-pounder. And then catfishing, 10-pounder. This time of year is my smallest fish.
yeah.
So there's something to trophy fishing that's exciting and presents you with just a little extra something. But
Yeah.
Jeff says his daughter has had bad ADHD and is a constant battle with the simple day-to-day things. But when we get on the water, she knows exactly what to and when to do it. She doesn't want any help. Well, my son has ADHD, so I know exactly what you're dealing with. My boy hangs from the rafters, and some days he wants to catch every fish. Some days he doesn't want to catch a single one, and it's a battle to get him to even engage in the fishing. So I don't really push him a whole lot to fish, Jeff. I do push him to be engaged in life, but I don't care as long as he's out there with me, enjoying the bird flying off the dock, seeing the fish rolling, helping me. When he was younger, he would net them. He would cut the bait. Now he's wrenching in 80 pounders and breaking records. So it's not easy fishing with the kiddo like that. Trust me, I know. I got a tornado on the boat. So
Texas tornado.
but it's worth it, man. It's paid off. It's been a long, hard journey with that boy of mine, but here we are. He's about to turn 8 this weekend, and he won't miss a fishing trip now. He's hardcore about it. So I must have done something right, even though he's a pain in the ass sometimes on the boat. And he will piss you off.
It's funny is I have my granddaughter every 4th of July weekend, so I have her for almost a week, and we spend it at the lake. And at that time, the catfishing really sucks because they're down there bedding and everything, and so I'll take her to the boat dock or something like that, and just to see her expression, because I'll take her and just to go out and catch some bluegill. So I'll just my granddaughter's 6, and I'll take her out. I got her own little pink Zebco reel. We put a little worm on there, drop it, and she's getting to the point where she'll want to go drop it next there, and then she'll reel it in herself, and she gets so excited, And so, and when she left this year, she's like, Grandpa. She called me Grandpa Motorcycle because she was around me when I lived in that outlaw world, in the motorcycle world. And so she's like, Grandpa Motorcycle. She goes, when are we going catfishing? And I said, baby.
Anytime you want.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, this winter, I said, when the catfishing's good, right now the water's 90 something degree at their bedding. And I explained her that they're making babies and all that stuff. I said, but this winter we're gonna get on it. And so now, as some of you guys know, I finally got the enclosure on the wheelchair boat. So I told her, I talked to her the other day because her birthday was last week. And I said, I haven't forgot about our catfish trip. She goes, but I said, we're going to do it probably the second week of January. I said, I got to coordinate with your mom because she's in Girl Scouts, soccer. My daughter keeps her so engaged. So I said, we'll plan a weekend. Just me and you will go up to the lake house, and we're going to spend the whole day out, catching catfish. And she's all excited. And every time I talk to her, when we going catfishing, when we still going? I said, nah, baby, we're still going. And my daughter's like, she's going to freeze because you'll go out there when it's 10 degrees out. I said,
that's what
nope.
fishing gear is for.
I said, I'll have a nice warm jacket for her. I said, I've got an enclosure now. I got a little buddy heater. She's going to sit there wanting to wear her bathing suit because she's going to be so warm in there. I said, she ain't got to worry about that. And so, I'm looking for those moments like you have, Chris, and others have with their kids. I didn't have that with my kids. I wasn't fishing. I was traveling the world in the Navy.
Yeah.
So now,
Rich, that's one of the big reasons why I try to get dads to do this. It's why we do the kid of the week contest at Carolina Lakewood. It's not for anything else but to try to get a dad to say, "Oh, look, he's doing it. I could do that too." And fishing will change your kid's life. If you get them hooked on fishing, now they may leave it for a while when they're chasing girls and all that, but generally you come back to it at a certain point. It just never leaves. It never goes away.
well, and I'm hoping that my granddaughter gets completely excited about it. She lands her first fish, and then, if she's like, I want to go out a lot more with you, Grandpa.
Yeah.
Then I'll sit there. I'll have my vet trips, and then I'll have my new fishing partner. And so so hopefully that will come to fruition, because you asked that question, is what's your favorite part of the trip? And you're talking about Action Jackson, and those different things. I think that will eventually be, at least when it's the trips with her, is going to be able to see the joy on her face. No matter what she's doing, the joy on her face, like now, for me, depending on if it's just me and another vet, I saw a lot of people in the chat and people saying it here, when you're getting the boat and you're ready to launch it, you're seeing the sun break over the trees. And, that's beautiful and that's great. And it's exciting because you know what you're about to do. But for me personally, I think my favorite parts of the trip are, number one, especially the vet trips, is the conversation. With guys or the gals.
Don't some of these guys kind of like to not talk sometimes? I mean, I know when I take guys fishing, sometimes we talk, and sometimes we don't talk at all. And I try to judge I try to gauge who I'm fishing with on kind of how they want to roll. I'm not going to sit there and try to pull a bunch of stuff out of somebody who doesn't really want. Sometimes it's nice to be quiet.
And that's it. And it's, number one, it's not only the guys, and we tend to forget that. Is like, I've taken plenty of female vets out, and I know we have a lot of great women anglers out there. Donna, Barton being one of them. Got Pontoon Jody. You got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is like with a vet, and that's why, as you heard, we may have a doctor come on board the board of direct Operation Vets Nest, will help us navigate through those channels of dealing with the vets. But sometimes that trip starts out very quiet, because once again, I'm the one, I'll go into listen mode, and that's very hard for me. and then I'll let them engage. And I never pry about, what happened to them, this, that, and the other thing. I just ask them, general stuff to get that conversation going. But seeing, my favorite parts of those trips is that breakthrough moment when that person does open up. And sometimes they don't completely do that. Yeah. But when that person opens up, and then you get into that really God-led conversation, then it's the end of the trip. Where at the end, that person expresses to you how much that trip meant to him. Like I told you, when that one guy I took out said that, when he woke up that morning, he was ready to finally bite that bullet, but he decided he was going on this trip, and this trip is kind of what saved his life. That's what I look forward to. I
like that too. I see Charlie fishes with a lot of different guys. So Charlie, how come you fish with so many different guys? I mean, it seems like you've got a lot of different guys. You're like me. I like to fish with a variety of guys. lot of old guys I fish with, but I also fish with a lot of new guys. How come you do that?
Yeah. So if y'all see me turning, I'm not like ignoring you. I actually have a bigger screen because my eyesight sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this screen over here. So yeah, I like to fish. Like, so here's okay. I'm gonna tell y'all some stuff that hardly anyone knows. I revealed a little bit about it yesterday, but I do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I don't talk about it. It's not my business. I don't brag about it. I go fishing a lot throughout the week with people who don't want to be in a video. Right? I'll take pictures of them. They post them on Facebook and stuff like that. And, I'll ask people, hey, do you want to make a video? You want to do this? Well, no, I'm not comfortable or whatever the reason, right? And there's tons of like co-workers that I've done that with at work. But here's the thing. When you have a variety, you don't get in this one mindset, right? And I don't want to call it naive because I'm a firm believer in the different styles of fishing, whether it's you want to go catch some big monster sharks or big old groupers, or you want to catch some fish in the community pond down the road, right? So I'm a big believer in that. So that's why me having an array like this, which includes a bank fisherman, it includes some people who have the big boats, medium boats, no boats. It helps me stay a little bit more even keeled and a little bit of a more humble plateau, you can say. And it allows me to observe a lot. So when I go with people, I observe a lot. I observe like not spots and bait and all that crap. I could care less about that. There's water. You got to go try it and see what you catch, right? That's the way I look at it. But it's more to observe like the human dynamic. Like like we were saying in the military, okay, what makes this person not necessarily tick, but why do they love being out here?
Yeah.
And I know that the subject about kids is a huge one. It's a very touchy one.
Hey,
and if y'all see my videos and stuff.
What was crazy to me is when I started sharing me and my son's journey is how much negativity with that.
And that's gonna happen.
How many times when I'll post, for instance, a big fish pic with my son, they're like, that kid didn't catch that. I'm like, well, if you want to go see the video of him catching it, it's right over there on my YouTube channel. So you can watch it from the time that it goes down. When I say fish on and he runs over there and hauls it in.
Yep, and there you go. You answered your own question.
I realize not all kids can probably do that because, but he's been fishing every week since he's 2.
So here's the thing, Chris, with that, like that example you just gave us perfectly. It's don't waste your energy, time, and effort trying to justify that. Don't worry about the chatter in the background.
Yeah,
that's the way
you put yourself out there a lot, Charlie. So in doing that, I know there's a certain amount of people that give you negative crap.
Yep.
How do you deal with that, man?
That's a great question. So this is how I deal with it. I limit myself, right? So what happens is when I do a video, like I'm trying to do more cinematic storytelling type videos versus, I get a lot of comments. So you need to make more evergreen videos, which I've looked into, but they're so time consuming and that, it would grow your channel a lot faster, but that's not like, I don't care about subscribers or anything like that. But here's when it comes to negative feedback. So you'd be surprised how much negative feedback I have in my videos. I have no profanity, no cursing, no drinking, no smoking, none of that stuff. It's all family friendly. But you're going to meet people that instead of reaching out to you, hey, Patrick, you know what, man? I know you're out there by Wichita Falls, man. Can we go out and do some stuff? Instead of doing that, they're going to see you catch a fish, whether it's a 10-footer or a 2-footer.
They're going to be mad at Patrick.
Exactly. There you go, right? Instead of just...
I already know it. I know.
There you go. So that's also, Chris says you fish with all these people. Yes, I fish with people who are humble. I've met with some who are very arrogant, and I met with everyone in between. Now, it depends who you are as a person and how you interpret things. Like earlier, Chris was saying, oh man, Jackson's a handful. He's all over the place. He pisses you off. Not one time has he ever pissed me off. And there's one time we went freaking in the Trinity. He was freaking me out because he was swimming in the Trinity.
Because it's not your kid, though.
No, but I was in charge of him because we left together. Remember that, Chris? We went to
Yeah,
Trammell
they
Park.
went on a walk, and Jackson jumped in the river.
Yeah, we went all the way around. I mean, it took like 40 minutes. We were gone forever.
It's like a steep mud slope to get out, which is
Yeah.
not easy for a 7-year-old.
So the moral of that
I
little
get over there and I see Charlie's pretty damn nervous. I'm like, well, Charlie, he's a great swimmer. He's been swimming since he was a year and a half. Oh,
and the moral of that story is that his father trusts me with him, right? And the other point to that is that how do you view things? Everyone views things differently, right? And then we'll go to the size, right? Okay, so you have someone who will catch a 6-pounder or whatever. Oh, that that might be a small fish for you, but for someone else, it's boom, right? Yeah. And for me, it's not that. For me, it's different. For me, it's I caught something, period, when I wasn't expecting to. But the thing is, everyone has a different view and opinion of things. And so what I'm trying to do is that it's okay. Whether if you're on this end of the spectrum or on this, it's okay. It's I know fishing. It's okay. It's like deep breath and let's make fishing great again. And I get it. People get caught up in the brands and the this and the that and the that. No, like I love hearing sometimes.
You know what? The way I see it with brands, Michael Jordan liked his Nikes.
No, he didn't. He liked Adidas.
Yep.
He sure liked his Nike Airs because
his mom liked
athletes in the planet.
Right. But that's the thing. It's and that little example goes me back to the little kid. I have a few friends. I have one that I just talked to a few weeks ago. And I talked about this yesterday. And oh my God, I love, the saying that I live by, get your kids a tackle box, not an Xbox. Take them out there, da-da-da. But sometimes there might be a point, that they don't want that. And if you push it on them, it could be bad. Like I'm not telling anyone by far what to do with their own children, but it's like all the movies that you see. Well, you're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a football player. And they push them and push them and push them. So anyways, my friend is like, yeah, my son just tells me to leave him alone. He doesn't want to do it. I said, well, just leave him alone.
Yeah,
maybe like Chris said earlier, maybe one day he'll come back to it. Maybe not. But it's okay.
I don't care what my son does, but he's going. And,
there you go.
But turns out he enjoyed going. And now I can't. It don't matter if he's sick, if it's raining, if it's snowing outside. There is no way in hell he's letting me leave him home.
Yeah.
And if we miss a weekend of fishing because we miss weekends of fishing because he's got sports and we got family activities. But on Monday or Tuesday, he's like, we're fishing Saturday or Sunday, Dad. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and that is freaking beautiful. But not all stories are alike. And it might be different for someone else who might have a female daughter, right? Or a daughter.
I think you have to cultivate that.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going to just have this great thing instantly growing. You have to nurture it, take care of it.
I want to teach dads and take your kids out, and dads, no, be surprised how many women take their kids out fishing. Actually, when we were at Texoma, remember that lady?
Me was my mom. I mean,
my dad
fished, but he didn't fish. It wasn't like, I was a pain in the ass. So he didn't take, Mom would deal with me, and got me going fishing at 2 or 3 years old.
Exactly. And everything that we just discussed in the last 4 minutes, it's all about a journey. Chris has his journey. Rich has his journey. Jesse Campbell has his journey. Patrick, James, Charlie. And that's why when you fish with different people, like my oldest, not my oldest, there's 3, me and my 2 sisters. My middle sister, Claudia, who said hi earlier, she loves to fish, but she loves that surf fishing, right? Like she's never been fishing with me on fresh water, but she goes out to Florida and Destin, wherever they go at Mississippi, and she likes to fish from the surf. That is amazing. And it's something that I never knew that she liked to do until like years ago. But it's something that everyone has their own journey. And so this is the Goa River Chronicles. All right. So I'm not fishing like in the now. I'm trying to tell a story, whether it's my story, because I am the director of marketing and vice president of sales for River Chronicles. Right. Simple as that. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Jesse, director of marketing and VP sales of Anglerholics, right? Patrick, so on and so on and so on. So, and it's so look at yourself as a brand. But if you look at my channel, I'm not selling anything. I'm not pushing anything. Da-da-da. Here's the thing. I really am. You have to watch the videos to see it. You might not see it, but you'll see the camera pan to certain things every now and then. Just watch my videos, you'll see it. And then I'll get comments on the side. And you get, hey, where's this? Where do you get that? And how does this? And then, okay, why is your boat orange and all your rods are orange? Oh, it's because my oldest daughter, that's her favorite color. It's orange.
I think
so there's an avenue
caught up in that, trying to get on with something and sell it. And I tell guys, I got on because I just told people what I liked.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
All these companies saw me and were like, wanted to invest in me. I was doing it before.
Exactly. There you go.
You know, me and Jesse talked about it not too long ago. I tell him, I'm not going to be a big salesman. I'm going to do it exactly how I've been doing it. I'll promote this stuff, but it's going to be through my journey and through my fishing.
There you go.
And that's
there
it.
You go.
I'm not going to be putting up 5,000 ads of sharing out all this crap on my freaking personal feed.
Yeah. And there's sometimes, you know, that they might ask you for something, and that's great.
And that's fine. If they ask me, I'll do it because I'm a team player. But for me, it's about the journey. And the reason why all my people use the stuff that I've been using is because I'm sharing it on my journey. And I love my Mad Cats rods. That's why they put me on.
Yeah.
I love them. And I told all my friends and they all started buying them.
Yep.
And same with Carolina Lake weights. It's the same with all this stuff. I enjoyed using it. And I said, this stuff's awesome. It's working great for me.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. It might work great for you, but it might not work great for Patrick or for whoever. And that's okay.
It might not. It might not.
And that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Stuff. But I'll tell you, guys, like, you don't have to have any of this crap to catch fish. No, you don't. Technically, you can hand line with a yo-yo. That's the original way of catching these fish. Is with a yo-yo, a hand line. And
if you are on a couch,
you're saying, "Oh, I don't need any of this." Okay, if you don't need any of this, then go with the yo-yo. Okay, hand line this stuff. But I like to have my Mad Cats. I like to catch them on the reel.
You're right. You know, all gear's the same, rods, reels, whatever. But you know what? Since I've had, my Mad Cat rods and stuff, my confidence went from here to here for some reason. And, I don't know if it's because I trusted it more. I trusted it more than my old stuff. I always started catching more fish. I started catching bigger fish. I wasn't worrying about my stuff breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell guys, when you feel good and you look good, you're going to do better.
Exactly.
I don't care. I mean, if you're feeling terrible and you're not feeling good and your stuff's all beat up, you can still catch fish. But, it's like guys that are mad at some guy with a brand new Chevy pickup. Hell, I'd like to have a 2024 Chevy pickup. I'm not going to knock the guy who's got one. I don't understand that mentality towards
but
people.
Turn the tables is like you say, I'm not going to knock the guy who has one, but at the vice versa, let's not knock the guy who doesn't have one.
I don't see anybody knocking the guy who doesn't have it. What I'm seeing is guys knocking somebody who's got something that they, it's like you using that. F you. Like, I don't see anybody knocking somebody for using an ugly stick. Hell, we all started using those things and they catch fish, but I much prefer
Berkeley Big Game from Walmart.
Damn ugly stick.
Them things have caught more fish than anything else out there in the world. Those Zepco's 33. But like we were talking about,
you don't want to be dragging for 70 pounders with your Zepco 33 with a big giant planer.
I bet you I'm going to try it one of these days. Watch.
It's nice to have.
Or what is it? The 303 something. It's like 3 digits. I can't remember. Never know. I caught an 8-pounder and a little Zipco splash. It's orange. That's why I got it. It's freaking cool. And it was just 4-pound test, which was awesome. Oh, and then someone today, like we were talking about the negative comments, someone today posted on that video and said, "Oh, this is Photoshop. There's no way you caught that 8-pounder on a 4-pound test on a Zipco." And especially when it went under the boat, so the rod was kind of bent over, and it was because the catfish is just dead weight. You're gonna pull it in, and I just said, I normally don't reply, but I just said, "LOL, that's extremely funny," because it's funny to me when he's looking right at the video. But you can't worry about that. I don't worry about someone's talking about me. It's none of my business. I'm not concerned with it. But the Go of River Chronicles, only a handful of people have asked this. It's I don't know if y'all know or seen this on YouTube. It's Yeti Presents, and then you got Patagonia. These two companies, like I even tried to get on a Yeti, like I'm on the Shields and Amazon, whatever you call it, the little thing. But I was trying to get on Yeti, but I didn't make it in.
Yeah.
But Yeti and Patagonia tell fishing movies, right? If you have not seen that, they're extremely cinematic.
Hey, Yeti.
Extremely, yep. Extremely, it's like a movie, but it's about the outdoors and fishing. And it's not just about the fish, it's about the journey. Yeah. And here's the thing, the product, they don't even talk about the product in it. You'll see it and stuff, but they'll pan across the hat and little things like that. And it tells you about a specific person. And that's kind of what I based the series that I've been working on for 2.5 years called One-on-One, The Journey, because they take different people from all over. If you haven't seen that, Yeti Presents.
47-pound blue on a Zepco 808 is his PB.
Ooh, I'm telling you, I'm going to do that. Zepco 808. I need to write that down. I'm going to try it, see what happens. Even if it happens, it happens. If not, what do you got to do?
He was fishing with a new guy that just found him online.
Those Zepcos, I have so many memories with those. They're amazing.
So Jesse, you always have a good time fishing. I've had a good time fishing with you every time I've been with you, man. What's your goal when you go fishing each week, and what are you trying to accomplish besides catch fish?
Yeah. What's your favorite part?
I like putting people on PBs and on good fish. That's what I really enjoy, especially family and close friends. But I just like to get away, and being on the water, catching fish. I just love it, And there's stressful days, where everything tangles and stuff just don't go right. But for the most part,
like getting bait.
Yeah. Luckily, I've been pretty good. All these local guys have been, man, I ain't caught nothing. I got my sonar and this and that. I'm taking my little river boat and tearing them up. There ain't nothing on that boat. Little 5-horsepower motor, slow as can be. Just nailing freaking huge shad.
Yeah, you're on a roll. One thing I've found is fishing is cyclical, even at the highest level. There's a fine line between victory and defeat in trophy catfishing. And one day you catch all 5 of your good fish and you feeling like King freaking Kong. And the next day you miss 4 of those. You catch 1, you're feeling okay. The week after that, you might miss all 5 of them and feel like you're worthless.
I need a good day.
So, but when you've been on the roll, catching good fish, that's got to be a great feeling for you, man. It's got to be your best year of fishing so far.
Yeah, just because the summer was really good too.
Summer's good. You've had a good fall so far.
Not bad.
We're gonna hammer them this winter, buddy.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready for some Texoma, Levon.
We'll go hit Levon soon. Soon as these fish go deep, buddy, we're gonna light them up. We're gonna
Chris, if it ever get cold in Texas,
I know.
Man, it was almost 70 degrees today.
6. Fish were still pretty shallow though. I
It
gotta
was
say,
hot today.
I saw these guys fishing mid depth, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we fish mid depth." They're
Yeah,
out
my
mid
buddy.
depth. I'm like, "Really? What'd you get?" They're like, "Got one." I'm like, "Okay, well, we fished up in 10, 11 feet, and it was an off day. We got a bunch."
Yeah, my buddies went to Lavon. I was supposed to go with them from the bank, but I was like, nah, I ain't getting on no damn kayak. And they caught 8. The biggest was like 45. The smallest was like 12. Something
Oh,
like
How
that.
deep were they?
Yeah.
Well, they were right off Brockdale. So
Okay.
Brockdale, if you ever been there,
Yeah.
it's pretty smooth at the beginning, but then you get all the structure out
Yeah,
there and
all those
stuff.
trees.
So they go on their kayaks to a certain
I
point.
fish out from Brockdale, just on the just right next to that timber line.
Yeah. That's
done
what they
well
do.
there.
They go out there. I used to go there quite often, but last few times I was there was police all over and like broken glass all on the ground, and I was like, eh.
That's pretty much all these lakes.
Yeah.
I
So
would rather
usually
be on
go
my
to
kayak than
Avalon.
my boat, Charlie.
Really?
I was going to ask you.
Well,
that.
you're
Yes.
young, Patrick. How old are you?
I was gonna
I'll
ask
be
you.
40. I'm almost 40.
Well, I'm 50 years old. I'm 50 years
my
old.
God.
And I
See,
ain't fat. You man,
but-
falling off that thing.
But
I'm
you
40.
got
I'm
see,
the old guy.
there's one thing you gotta understand, Charlie. I run a 13-foot kayak. It's
Nice.
36 inches wide, and it's got 55-pound thrust wireless trolling motor on the front of it.
Ooh, nice.
What's Jesse's?
My,
Let's go down the list. What's everybody's PB in here? I'll start. Mine's 86 pounds, but it's been probably 8 years since I caught that fish. My son's caught all the big fish the last 4 years. How about you? Let's go with Charlie next. Charlie, what's your PBs?
For a flathead, it's like 22 pounds. Channel, I think it's 8 or 9 pounds. And for a blue, it is 41 out of Ray Roberts.
Nice.
Right.
All right. How about you, Rich? PBs, buddy.
48 and a half.
Nice. Fishing for 4 years, I got to tell you, hitting that 50-pound mark is a fish of a lifetime until there are levels to the game. So
It's gonna happen this year.
you'll get there, man. Once you hit that first 50, they'll start coming a little more frequently. How about you, Jesse?
I caught 3 that were right at 50 pounds this year. And I caught one that was huge. I'd say high 50s, maybe 60. But I didn't get an official weight on him, so my PB's 50 for the blue. Flathead, 38 pounds. And I caught an 11-pound channel cat a few years back.
Nice.
Almost like record.
I got a 19-pound channel cat. Thing is crazy big for Texas.
I had a 14-pound channel cat, and oh my gosh, I thought I was
Man, they pull like a dolphin.
Yeah, they do.
Man, 19. That's almost a state record there.
Well, the state record's a lot higher than that, but
Yeah.
19, it was the lake record. So
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, we own a lot of the lake records on the lakes we fish, and having my son catching now, he's the luckiest little angler I've ever met. It's rare we have a bad trip. And there's fishing is skill, but there's also a little bit of luck involved because you can go the whole trip on a good day. Your best day, you're catching 10 good ones. On an off day, you might have a chance at 3, and you may not hook any of them. But having him on the boat, it's like almost every trip, at least we pull a rabbit out of our hats.
Nah, Action Jackson ain't lucky, my brother. Action Jackson, luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah,
he's a badass.
Or too, but there's also something to having a good luck charm like him with you. Until you go now, Charlie, we fished together up at Texoma. That's the worst trip I've had, and
that was one of the best I had.
Time. But
that was one of the best I had. We caught like 14 fish. That is
Yeah, but
awesome.
we had a great. I'm not saying I didn't have fun. I'm just saying in my spectrum of fishing,
Exactly what I
that's
talked
low
about
end.
earlier.
That's a very low end day for us.
And for me, it was a great day. We caught 14 fish. There's days that I used to win last Saturday and caught 2 fish. Right? So I catch 14. To me, it was a great day. But that's what I was
We
saying
caught
earlier,
fish.
Chris.
We just didn't get. I was expecting. I told you what
That's
I
the thing. And I don't expect it. You do, and I don't, which is okay. So please just pay attention to that disclaimer. It's okay
was
for
expecting to
that.
have an epic day that
The
day.
only thing
Fish
bad that
were
happened
right.
on that trip, and I'll be honest with you, the only one negative thing is that when you made the comment and you said, "Man, I'm tired of these fish. I need a fish that's worthy of a picture." And I was like, "What?" I hurt
No,
my
I
feelings
said
because I'm like,
I need a fish
I
that's
like all these
worthy of
fish because I'm
taking.
taking pictures with them,
I
right?
need a
But
fish that's worthy of laying in my son's lap. That's what I said.
okay,
We need a fish that's worthy. To me, I'm not going to write home to mom about a 10-pounder.
I
No,
am. If my mom was here, I would, and that's the thing, and that's okay. Either way, it's okay. Like I would actually ask my sisters, ask my daughters. They need little thing that I catch or they catch, and they send me pictures and vice versa. I don't always post them on Facebook and stuff like that.
people are going to get sick of that because we catch freaking 1,000 of those every year. So
I know
I mean,
the content you guys could be making could be freaking amazing.
uh,
Like you'd be certain. And that's the thing, Chris, is that
I
not
will say
everyone is
this, Chris
badass
Charlie,
and high
I get
level
fired up for anything over 20
like
pounds.
that. Yeah.
Anything over 20, I get fired up just like I'm a kid again. But
And most
it does take, but I see guys that are like, Lottie da, 30-pounder. That ain't me. I'm
Mhm.
like, we're fist bumping, high fiving, and if you're in a boat half a mile from me, you're going to hear it. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing with taking these vets out. Yeah, I'd like to get them on a good monster fish, but the excitement of seeing, I had one guy, the biggest fish we caught that whole day, and we caught like probably 15, 20 fish. The biggest fish we caught was 8 pounds that day. And these guys are so excited, like they caught, like they caught Moby Dick. And I'm thinking to myself internally, I'm like, oh, that it really ain't much to be super excited about. But then I get back into the mindset of why I'm out there. I'm out there for that real therapy. And if catching those 5, 6, 7-pounders is getting them excited and they're having a great time, then that's what it was all about.
yeah, and that's the key. I think I was talking to Jesse the other day. I was like, I caught that 38-pounder. It went shot straight up from the bottom. It was just like pulling in a log. And I did the video. I'm still working on the other video when I caught the 27-pounder, and that thing felt like it was 80 pounds because it was just boom, boom, and moving all over the place. And then the
you
following
never know
weekend,
what you got till you get them up towards the boat.
yeah.
No
And then
doubt.
the following weekend, I go to the boat ramp and I run into Ernie Moreno from Tattoo My Shoes. Right, this is a cool story. So someone challenged me to, hey, try to catch your personal best by the end of the year. And I'm like, I'm not into that stuff. Whatever. If I catch something, like I just go and I throw baits and see what happens. And I said, maybe I can use this to try to improve my storytelling technique. And it's actually working, believe it or not. It's pretty cool. But so we were both in our boats, and we're like, should I leave your boat? I said, look, just, we should have communicated with each other or whatever. So we both go on our own boats, and then I call him. I'm like, look, because the sun was like behind me when I showed him the 27-pounder that I caught. And it's getting a little dark, so I'm like, I need to get out of here. My boat's not the biggest. I have lights and everything. Everything's cool. And, I just have a 5 horsepower outboard, so it takes me a little bit longer to get to the boat ramp, and he's by the bridge. So not even 3 minutes of me just kind of moseying along, he freaking calls me, and he's like, oh my God, Charlie, this is the biggest fish I've ever freaking caught. I can't believe it. It's got to be at least 40, 50 pounds. And my heart started pumping for him. I'm like, oh my God, really, really? Yeah, I can't believe it. And he uses like little bitty hooks, like little tiny hooks, right? It was 29-pounder, his personal best, biggest fish he's ever caught and seen, and he's mighty.
A 29-pounder looks like a 50 when you hadn't caught one before. You're like, you didn't even know what you
It
got.
was amazing. I got to the boat ramp. Something always happens at the boat ramp. There was some people magnet fishing. They got it stuck, so I had to get them on the boat, take him around. I waited for him. He was so excited. He was chest bumping me. I'm like, dude, I'm fragile. I'm 50 years old. Relax.
All you
That
guys
is
are
what
young,
it is,
man.
guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. You want to catch them up? That's great. If I catch one day, I'm gonna be like, holy crap, look at this thing. Same thing. If I catch a little 3-pound, I do eat fish about 2 times a week. So I do keep some fish. I do follow conservation, anything 8, 9, 10 pounds. If it's under 10 pounds, I might keep it depending on who needs fish and stuff like that. But anything over than that, I do
there's
not
anything
keep.
wrong with that. Anything under 10
I don't keep anything bigger.
I don't even keep them under. I keep everything under. Not everything. If I'm gonna keep one, it's gonna be under 5 now. Because
It kind of depends on the.
I can catch a million. I can catch enough 5-pound fish and under to supply an army.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it depends who I'm catching it for. Like it's me. I like to do I fillet them and do little nuggets. But then I have my sister. They like it whole. So it just depends on who I'm getting the fish for and stuff, and how they prepare it and stuff. I have my buddies.
Says, any fish excites me, but Danimal, how exciting was it when Dom caught his 46 and when your girlfriend's son got his PB? That's a lot more exciting than those eaters. Am I right? So,
Yeah.
I love the PBs. I'm like Jesse. When someone comes on the boat, one of the first things I ask is, "What's your PB?" And if I think that we can there's a good chance that we can hit it, I'm gonna tell them today we're getting it, and I am going to do I'm gonna fish my ass off to get them that PB that day. And I mean, it doesn't always happen, but it happens quite a bit. I expect it.
So if I went with you on your boat one day and you asked me my PB and it's 41, well, I'm gonna try to get your PB, and I'm like, Chris, no, it don't matter about that. I just want to catch some fish.
Well, I'll
Will you be offended by that?
We're getting your PB this winter. You can mark my word. I'm guarantee you. Going to get.
I'm coming down to get. I'll be coming down. You get my big one.
Let me see if y'all were listening. I'm behind a few videos. All right, and I've been making if you saw my 38-pounder, I called it Quest to Catch a PB or whatever.
Okay, well,
now I'm behind 2 videos. Who knows what happened the last 2 weekends? But here's the thing, me personally, me personally, guys, don't hate me for that. Don't hate me for that.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter if I catch a big one or a small one.
We all are very similar, but we all do it for different reasons.
Exactly, and that's okay across the board.
I chase big fish. It's what really gets me going.
And that's the thing about it, and Rich can probably elaborate with this, or I hope he can. It's because of what I've experienced in my personal life, in the military, before the military, with my mom dying, and after. That's why, for me, the end thing about a fish doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
The thing is, when I'm in the water with Jesse, with Patrick, with Rich, with Chris, with my nephew, Action Jackson, that's what matters to me. And if something were to take the damn hook and it's a freaking beast, hell yeah. Or if it's a 5-pounder, 4-pounder, hell yeah. But there's something that happens to everyone. Like just how it happens to you guys when y'all want to catch that huge monster. Don't get me wrong. You know what my number one bucket fish, I think I told you, Chris, already, my number one bucket list fish is I want to catch a Goliath grouper one day. I probably won't last the whole fight. I'll probably be out of it in 5 minutes. But I would want to feel how that feels, knowing that I have a life on the other end of this line that I'm kind of in control of. But at the end, if God gives me that beautiful access to bring them up and take a picture of them and then release them, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but if it happens, it happens. It's not something that I'm going to waste my time, energy, and effort on doing, because what happens when you have that expectation, I've seen it thousands of times, I've been fishing forever, is that when it doesn't happen, people get beat up and they get brought down. Like Chris earlier, and I'm not beating up on you, Chris. I love you. We had taken me out all sorts of times. That day, Chris was beating himself
Charlie, I
up
get
to
beat up, but I
death.
also believe
To death.
my I'm very critical of poor fishing, because to me it's either you did it, Mother Nature did it to you, or your equipment failed. So
Yeah.
I got the best equipment money can
Yeah,
buy.
there you go.
Okay, I get it when Mother Nature's not right, and I don't have a problem losing to Mother Nature. I know that sometimes she's like, it ain't happening today. The fish are right there, and you ain't getting them. What I don't like is when it's me, when I'm the problem. So when I'm self-critical of myself because we didn't do well, and I know that I could have done better, to me, that's what drives me to be a high-level angler. And, you know, we talk about being a high-level angler a lot on the show. I consider myself a high-level angler. I expect to do well every trip, even on poor condition days. I expect to be able to do something. Doesn't matter what fishery I go to, I expect to be able to do, to have success.
Yeah.
And when I
check this
don't have
out.
success, that's what eats me up.
It does. And the problem is that can eat you up, Chris. You could take it home with you. You could take it out of other people. I'm not saying that, but it can happen. I've seen it happen.
Yeah,
so here's
my
the
worst
thing.
days, I take it home, and it'll last until my next trip. But
And
it
that's the thing.
also
So
is what drives me to have these epic trips where we're breaking all these. I don't believe that we would break all these records. We wouldn't have all these good, awesome trips for all these other people if I wasn't really critical on myself to push myself to be the best angler that I could be. And I'm nowhere near the best angler I could be. I'm gonna keep pushing.
I'm just a dude that throws shit in the water trying to catch some fish. But here's the thing, Chris. Look, and I'm gonna throw it on there because I'm
Charlie,
a man.
if I can find it, because I used to live in the Keys.
There you go. Find it. So,
Charlie, if I can find it, I will send you a picture. You talk about the Goliath grouper. I got 2 pictures. If I can find it on my old laptop, that I'm swimming.
Them things can swallow a human.
I'm swimming next to an 800, or not swimming. I'm diving next to an 800-pound grouper.
Like my heart, you just said that, and my heart pounded. It's weird.
And I got a picture of me. I caught a 400-pound Goliath grouper down there, and so if I can find those pictures, I'll send it to you. But
if you send me those pictures and any video or footage, I'll make a badass video about that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
all of you. That goes to all of you. If you had footage, you need to be made into something. Send it to me. That's my second obsession. I love it.
I got freaking 10,000 megabytes of footage that
I got 3 external drives.
I can't deal with this, man. I've got so much footage. Just like next trip I'll do one. Nope, next trip.
Yep. But man, it's like, Chris, I know that what you said earlier, like that day when we went, bro, we caught 14 fish. I was like, this is freaking awesome. Right? And I'm like,
I told you this is the worst trip I've had.
Yeah, okay, now think about it.
I don't mean fun-wise.
Hold on, but think about what you just said.
We had a great
friend to friend, brother to brother.
This is the worst trip I've had in 2 years.
How do you think I felt when you made that comment?
Well, I told you we had fun. Well, we had fun.
Yeah, but how do you think I felt when you said, "Man, this is the worst damn trip I've ever had fishing"? I'm like, I felt this big.
My worst trip in 2 years. Now,
and then I'm like, dang, he brings me along, and then
that's just to say my fishing sucked today.
No, it did. Now we caught 14 fish. And what happened after the tournament ended? We caught like some nice ones right after that. But I know I got great self-esteem and stuff like that. But I'm like, man, I'm here hanging out with Chris in this freaking sweet ass boat with my nephew Action Jackson. Caught 14 fish. I didn't care about the tournament too much.
The fishing part, we had a great time hanging out together. We had a great time with the tournament.
But when I heard that is the worst trip ever, I'm like, shit. He brings me, and it's the worst trip ever.
I mean, that sucks, bro.
So I was like, shit, I'm just gonna jump off the side and fucking sink down to my fucking death here in Lake Texoma. But it was a great 14 fish. I've never gone on my boat, Chris.
when
Chris,
I
I've never
add up
gone on my
every
boat
trip
ever and caught
of my
14 fish.
fishing,
Huh?
that's low end, buddy. I mean,
There's
not
no low end, Chris. There's no
not
low
the
end, brother.
experience. We had a great time.
Yeah, there's no
And I
low end
said,
fishing.
hey, we
It
had a
doesn't
great
exist.
time in spite of the fishing.
There's no low end fishing. Everybody is a high level angler, whether you catch sunfish
We
or
weren't
trout
high level
or
that
fly
day.
fish. Actually,
I
I've
was
been
low
trying to go
level.
fly fishing soon.
Low level
But
for
or
me.
gar, like people love gar over here. I've been catching gar all my life, but I'll catch it in the summer a few times and I get bored with it because my number one obsession is catfishing.
So me and Jesse went fishing together, and we had a pretty decent day, but it took us a long time to get going. And we went and fished again. We were on separate boats, and I got lucky. Jesse's fishing right next to me. Fish is pretty similar style. We got lucky, and he ended up getting a real good one too. But I mean, we had a great day. He had a decent day. We fished the same waters right next to each other.
There you go. So that right there is the example of what I've been saying all along. It's just if God wants it to happen, it's gonna
The
happen.
weekend before, we were sucking the whole day till we finally pulled a rabbit out of our hat. But the guy fishing right next to us was just freaking laying it to him, man. 20, 30, 40, 50. And I'm like,
and that's not y'all's fault. It's the fish. The fish do what they want to do.
We suck. But eventually we got it turned around and we pulled out a victory. And I felt good. I felt great about it,
Yeah. The fish are going to do what they want. It's not up to us where we catch. It's what the fish want to do. I mean,
well,
you could have all the electronics and try to find them and narrow it down.
Bait. How well are you presenting the bait? How well are you putting the bait right there where it needs to be? What's he doing differently than I'm doing? And all that makes a huge difference in fishing.
But you could have two boats doing the same thing and all the fish are nested up here and not.
You want to be the guy catching the 50-40 with 330s, or do you want to be the guy catching 14 eaters?
I'll catch 14 eaters all day long.
I want to be the guy catching the 50 and the 40.
And that's okay. I'll rather catch fish all day long.
Oh, I'll have only one rod, man, just catching every fish. And it don't matter what.
Jesse, we fished
there you go
on different boats. I caught every fish on one bait that whole day, man. This giant head, they just crushed it all day long with this one giant striper head. It's like they didn't want the smaller one. They just wanted this giant freaking head. And we caught 10 good fish off of that one head. And I feel like if I didn't have that head, we'd have got our ass kicked.
And what's good is the conversation that's going on now, because you've got different levels of anglers, on the show, watching the show and stuff. And everybody's had to hit every type of angler out there. Where Chris, his target, all he wants to do is nail those freaking Goliath friggin' pigs out there. Charlie, he's like, I don't care if I catch 15 4-pounders. It's all about the journey and and catching and just catching fish.
I'm not knocking Charlie's.
Oh, I know you're not
at all, Rich.
I know you're not.
I'm knocking myself.
And you're not even doing that. What I'm saying is
you're not. That's what we're trying to tell you. You're not even doing that.
Not even doing that.
I beat myself up over it.
And so you've answered why you fish, what excites you about fishing, what keeps you going about fishing. Charlie has done the same. We all fish for different reasons, even though we all have that one thing in common. We love to get out there on the water and we love catfishing.
I think that's exactly why this show was awesome tonight.
Yeah.
You nailed it, Rich. We all are very similar guys. We can all hang out probably for 12 hours together, not have any issues or problems. But we all do it for a
complete... Can't shut up. He's been talking the whole show down there.
You know, and it's the nice thing is because some people that might be new to catfishing or they might not be on those big pigs, could be intimidated by some folks on the show. Chris, you specifically. Why? And I don't mean that in a bad way. So they could be intimidated because of the fishing you're used to, the fishing that you're targeting. But today's show kind of brought all those types of folks in to where I don't think there could be any cat fisherman on this, no matter what level you're at, that did not get something from this.
I agree.
I agree.
There are definitely levels to this. And when I first started, all I wanted to catch was one. If I got one, I was happy. And that didn't happen all the time. I would take a beating and just not catch any fish. But the goal when you're out there, because we're out there with a hook in the water with bait on it, what's that in the water for?
To catch a fish.
To catch a fish.
Catch a fish.
Okay. And doesn't it feel good when you catch one?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Doesn't it feel good when you catch two?
Yeah.
There you go.
Doesn't it feel great when you catch a 20?
Yep.
Absolutely.
How good does it feel when you catch a 50, boys?
I don't know. I'm working towards that.
It feels pretty damn good. And
I need something bigger than 50.
I try to duplicate that feeling, and I realize it's not easy to catch a 50. It took me a long time to get one. But
And
here I am. I'm 30 years in, and I catch a shit ton of them now.
I pray that the day I do catch that 50, I can actually get it out of the water because of my back.
Well, I got my 53rd year catfishing.
That's a great problem to
And
have.
to be with me, I don't even want to catch a 50. I want to see someone else catch it so I can film it. I don't care if I catch a 50.
When I
or
say
60.
I like to catch a 50, I
I
don't
will
care who
film
catches
the crap out of it
boat,
with all
as
these
long as
cameras.
one
Look,
comes
with
over
all
the
this
gun on
stuff,
the
I will film it and make a story, not in the now.
Hey,
Yeah, I don't care.
Charlie, I got one better for you.
My
What's that,
son,
Patrick?
Charlie, Patrick, any of you guys come on the boat, you catch every freaking fish. I don't care.
We've caught like
You've
from
been on the
what,
boat. I
4
don't
pounders to like
care
30 pounders.
to catch a fish. I'll let whoever's on the boat catch every one. It's
that's
the
what I
boat
do.
fish.
When I'm on a trip, and we'll be sitting there we'll hit a school or we'll be on a lot of fish. And, even if there's two of us, I'm making sure that we got a good, we got the fish on. I'll make sure there's a good hook set.
I'm the same way.
I hand them the rod. I don't reel in nothing on my trips because you know what? I can go out and catch fish anytime.
Yeah, I generally give the kids the first crack. So if it's me and Charlie and my son, even though my son's caught a bunch, Jackson's gonna get first crack at the big fish. It just, and if Jesse's on the boat and it's his son, between him and my son, Jesse's son's going to get the first fish. Him and my son argued over the first big fish. And I said, Jesse's son's our guest. He gets the first big fish. You can have the next one. And so Jesse's son reeled the big fish in. And then turns out the next fish, Jackson doesn't even give a crap. He's like, give it to me.
Where's my iPad?
Yeah, where's the iPad?
Where's the iPad?
But you never know what you're gonna get from these kids. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Check it out, Patrick and Rich. So that's the card that I give out to everybody because I'm the director and marketing VP of sales for myself. But look, I don't know if you can read that. Hold on, I'm new.
I can't. I'm on my phone, but fishing is not an escape from life, but often a deeper. I can't read the last. Deeper immersion into it. No, right on. You know what? And that's a good saying because that's really when we talk about real therapy, that touches on it right there.
Yeah. So I'll probably have to go soon, guys. I get up at 4 a.m. every morning. But check this out, Rich, not to interrupt you. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna ask all of y'all really fast. So Chris, what's your favorite fishing movie, if you have one?
Favorite way to fish?
No, favorite fishing movie.
Oh, favorite.
If you have one, not everyone has one.
That's probably Jaws.
I was
Jaws?
about to say the same
That was a
thing.
killer movie.
I
Rich,
love
what's
Jaws.
your
I was going to say the
We're
same
gonna
thing.
need a bigger
Jaws?
Jaws.
Patrick?
I can watch them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all day long.
All of y'all with Jaws? Come on, Jesse.
I like River Mon. It's not a movie.
River Monsters is
Watch
great. Not a movie, but it's a great show.
All
I
right.
watch it all the time.
So check it out. Someone just told me this about what's today? Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not sure. So last Wednesday, someone saw my video and they sent me a messenger thing or whatever. I get so many messages. That's why I'm only on Facebook for an hour a day. So there's a new movie that came out called Mending the Line. It's about veterans and fishing.
Yeah.
This kind of
Whoa, hold on. I gotta find a pen so I can write this down.
Hey, before we get going, Danimal says I got to build a rudder for the front of my little boat so I can stay straight when I drift. Had a hell of a time when he took Clayton out. So put a Y harness in the back, Daniel, and just run one sock out the back. That'll help considerably. Or you got that trolling motor. I don't know which boat you're putting that trolling motor on, but use that trolling motor to pull you straight. That's the way I do it. It's rare I don't have my trolling motor down, pulling me where I want to go. So wanted to help Danimal a little bit.
You got it, Rich?
Yeah, Mending the Line. I'm going to look
Mending
it up.
the Line. It has the old guy from Secession, the guy from the McDonald's commercials.
Yep.
And it's about a veteran who gets injured, wants to go back, sees some of his buddies get killed, and fishing. It's fly fishing, but it's freaking awesome. And that's a new one. It just came out this year. But if y'all have never seen, from it sounds like it, a river runs through it.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Great
Chris
movie.
Christopherson, Brad Pitt, 1994. That's what shows what the journey is.
Yeah.
Right? It's a journey between a dad who's a hardcore, strict pastor versus a son that's kind of out there on a rampage versus the son who's trying to please his father, and how everything's intertwined. But what brings them together is fishing, even though everyone's on their own different path. So here's the thing: we're all on our different paths. All the paths are correct; they're right, because that's how we view the path, and it's okay.
Yep.
Regardless of what that path is. I love all of you guys. I've had a blast with all you guys, except for obviously Rich and Patrick. I haven't fished with you in person, but I've had a blast. We made some great content, great videos. I hope to do more in the future. But here's the thing that someone last week told me, and like I said, people are mean for whatever reason, and I feel bad for them at times. Like how we pray today, Rich. Do you know that I pray every single time that I go out there? I don't film it.
Yeah, me and Rich talked about it earlier. I do a lot of praying on the water.
And Chris even witnessed it. One day I was on this boat and I was touching the rods and I was doing a quick little prayer, like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Right? So someone told me, he's like, yeah, but you go fishing. And we'll see a video, we only catch 1 or 2 fish. You just wasted all that time. Right? But that's their view, and it's okay. It's like, I don't get bothered by that. Like, it doesn't bother me. Because it's not about the fish for me. It's about the journey and wondering if I'm going to catch one.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, Charlie, do me a favor before you get off the computer. Send me your number because I need to reach out to you.
Brother, I did that like months ago.
Oh, yeah.
I
Charlie,
know you did.
Rich needs you to put the Operation Vets with Nets mission we did.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay,
so,
well, that's what I'm reminded. So
yeah, I think I sent you my number, but I'll resend it to you again. All you guys, Patrick as well. Shoot me your number.
Actually, go ahead and put the tournament trip in there as well. So Rich going to reach out to you, but I don't know what he wants, but I'm telling you, go get that both of those trips we did, put them in the Operation Vets with Nets database. Yeah. So Operation Vets with Nets is growing. There's a lot of big things on the horizon. We need those trips in there for reference for people are going to be looking at these trips that are wanting to invest and stuff like that. So
yeah, no, most definitely.
The most important thing is us getting to go fish together, but important thing is to help Rich also get to where he's trying to go with the organization, and that requires us
Yeah.
getting
So,
stuff.
so I don't know if y'all saw my little video. Rich, remember that video I sent you about? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
With the 98-year-old Iwo Jima veteran that I took at work.
Yep.
He was, when they took the picture of the flag being raised in Iwo Jima, he was just out of frame. So I got to meet that man at work.
Oh, wow.
And remember what I told you, that I was working some angles at work?
Yes.
So I've been working some angles. So I'll, fingers crossed, give some prayers to see what happens.
Got you.
But
Never mind. I got your number.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. I'll send it to you just in case again.
Oh, I got it. I just pulled it up. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to give you a call in about a day or so. I'm working on something. I think.
Okay. Yeah, like right now, like I'm behind like 3 videos. I got a project with Flathead Dottie, Michael Thompson, and Ryan Schaaf that we're working
Doty's
on.
in here right now. Cookies Outdoor. That's Doty.
Oh, that's him?
Right
there.
there.
And then I got a thing, a bait boat video thing that people want to see, and it's just tons of stuff, but I love it though. But here's the thing.
Right.
Actually, speaking of time, this kind of leads into that. So last week, right before I went out last weekend, someone said, yeah, you see your videos and they're freaking cool. They're awesome. And this, but you only caught 2 for 3 fish, whatever it was. And they said, you're just wasting your time. And I thought that was freaking funny. But I respect their opinions. Like, I'm never going to hate someone just because they dislike me or don't like what I'm doing. Like, I could care less about that. I'm just me and I'm going to do me and that's it. But so I replied to them and I said, you know what? Time that I enjoy wasting is not wasted time.
That's right.
Period. Whether I get skunked or not. I get skunked all the damn time because I don't have the graph. I don't have this. I'm at the mercy of the wind. I just throw baits, see what happens. And I leave there freaking happy as can be. And that's my journey. Everyone else has their journey and it's great. And one day I'm going to catch a monster and I'm being, oh, okay, what do I do with this? And like, I don't know what it's going to feel like. I couldn't tell you until I experience it. And if it doesn't ever happen, it won't happen. But
we're going to get
I think it will happen because
Charlie.
before I was limited just to banks and banks and banks and banks, and God's blessed me the last few years to get a couple of boats. And it's going to happen one day. And I don't know what I'm going to feel. Or, I mean, when I caught the 38-pounder, you see it. I wasn't screaming and this and that, but I'm like, oh, yeah, guys, this is pretty big. It feels pretty big. But it felt like a log more than anything. I don't know if y'all saw it. I caught myself with the net. Did y'all see that? If you haven't seen it, I should have used that as a blooper. Yeah, because I grabbed the net and I try to set it down and it pops right over me like this. So I caught myself. I'm like, oh, crap. No, guys, I'm from here. I'm not illegal. Let me go. But it was pretty funny because the net fell like to my shoulders and stuff. But yeah, guys, that's what
boys from Texas in here. So maybe we get us, at least us Texas guys, together and go catch some tanks this winter.
Because remember, Chris, I talked to you about that earlier in the summer that there was a project that I wanted to work on. I had a trailer.
Yeah. You said you were going to do a show about like mom and pop stuff and.
Well, no, that's the one-on-one thing. But before that, remember I told you about trying to get everyone who's kind of close and near together at Trammell Park.
Yeah.
And do like a Why We Love to Fish video and the drone and all that stuff. But the thing about North Texas, man, boy, it's rough. People hate on each other like you guys would not.
Yeah, I really had to step outside the local fishing scene. I don't know that that's just here either. I think when you're dealing with local guys, there's jealousy when they see you doing stuff. I know I saw guys mad at you because you were using a drone. I'm like, what?
And all I do with the drone is I take footage.
Videos with the drone. I get guys mad because my son catches big fish. Why? I don't get it. My buddies are like, F that person. Anybody that's mad at a kid for catching a big fish, it's something wrong with them. But there's just a certain amount of people that just don't like it. And it's pretty good percentage. I mean, I don't know what percentage. They say something like 10 or 20% of people don't like kids. Not just don't like kids at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it comes with the territory. I'm going to keep doing it because I like
Yeah.
building the friendships and stuff with dads that have, kids that they're trying to get involved in fishing. So
Yeah. Usually with the drone, like I just take footage. I really don't hear too much negative feedback with the drone, but I do get negative feedback about this. What? I do get tons of negative feedback about this bad boy. I got 2 of these.
why?
That's pretty
Right?
cool.
So Patrick, you were talking about your kayak earlier. I'm 50 years old and I'm freaking fat. If I fall, hopefully I sink. But I use this to take my bait out. It has a slot, gets 500 meters, whatever. I pop it, boom, throws my bait out. I'm
I
safe
want
on
one
the
of
bait.
those
I
to
don't have to
take
worry
out my
about it.
shark baits down at the coast.
Hey,
So,
I
Oh
use
my God, Charlie, that's too
I
funny.
use a bait cannon to launch when I'm fishing from the bank. I use a bait cannon to launch mine.
there you
Really?
go.
I can
And it
get
just,
I get 200 yards with that thing.
Damn, that's pretty awesome,
ooh.
man. So you
So that's the
freeze
thing. It's
it
just a
in a
safety thing
canister,
for me. And it's for
silver.
me. It's the same thing as having a kayak going out there. What's the difference?
Yeah.
The difference is I'm not putting my body in jeopardy. But I'm just older,
Well,
man.
see,
My
I
my
can
daughter's
You,
good on
I
it.
can stand up.
Charlie, you keep
I
talking
need to
about
check
being
that.
old. I'm the oldest guy in here.
How old
Rich
are
is
you?
an old fart compared to
I'm,
us. We're young. I'm young
yeah.
at 50.
What's
Charlie's
your
a
social?
young
I
buck.
just turned 2 weeks or 2 days before Thanksgiving. I hit 57.
What? So your social security number's like 4?
Yeah.
See, Charlie, I can
Rich.
stand up on my kayak. I can walk around. Both of
It's
my
like my
personal bests have came off my kayak. I've got, a 49-pound flathead off my kayak, a 52-pound blue off my kayak.
bro. That
I
sounds
love
like
fishing
a
from my
damn
kayak.
boat.
I'd rather be on my kayak and not my boat.
Hey, like I have a Pelican Bass Raider. It's the same thing. It's wide. I could stand on the edge and like pee off the side if I wanted to. So I feel safe in it.
Yeah,
So it's just a safe
I can do that
thing.
on my kayak.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some kayaks out there that can do that. The ones
I,
I've been on,
I
and I
throw a
flipped over
7-foot
in
tape
Lavon
net
once.
off my kayak.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I flipped over in Lavon once, and it was one of those sit-in kayak thingies. And then the hook that I was pulling that I had tied in the back, like got caught in my my life jacket. And I was freaking out. Come on. I was freaking the hell out. I said, forget that. That was about 4 years ago. But yeah, I just try to be safe when I go fishing. I made some videos or little shorts. I'm like, look, I tell 3 people where I'm going, who I'm with. Okay, something happens, you don't hear from me by a certain time. Send not an Amber Alert. It'd be more like a silver alert.
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a call from my wife because I go out into the nastiest crap and
Yeah.
with my son. And she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
Yeah, but
I'm all
I
right.
mean, like when I go with Chris on this boat, I feel safe. It's a big boat. Now
Yes.
he'll tell you I'm clumsy as crap. I am. How many times I almost fell off your boat, Chris? About 3 or 4.
When we were about to have my son, my wife said, "There is no freaking way you're taking our son out on that boat." And I'm like, and the light bulb goes off. I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Okay. All right. So I started planting the seed, and we were out on the lake, and I'm like, well, look at that bay boat. Those sure do look safe. And she's like, yeah, that'd be a nice family boat. I'm like, okay, all right. I like that idea. So 2 weeks later, I brought one home. She's like, what? Like,
And I'm on I'm smaller boat, so it's a little more scary. The other day was a little sketchy. The winds got up to 12. I had to leave Westlake area and go to the other side of the island.
so
It was
12
calmer.
is just like, that's nothing for my
All of a sudden, yeah. And then if you were on Chris's boat, not too bad, but on mine, it's
Yeah,
like,
we were on Texoma, and it was rocking and rolling, and you were like, "Man, this is nice."
You'd
Yeah, I'm
love
like,
our
it's true.
wheelchair boat, Charlie.
What's that, Rich?
You'd love our wheelchair boat.
For real? I'm fucking handicapped as old as I am.
But yeah, we bought that big boat just for safety reasons. That's the only reason I bought it. But turned out to be the ultimate catfishing machine. Really, I mean, we're fishing 30-mile-an-hour winds now, and I would have never done that before.
Yeah, see
You
that?
got there, Charlie?
So that is my mom. A picture. She's encased, not her, but her picture's encased in a crystal. My
Yeah.
daughter gave me that. So
Me
my
and my
mom
wife
died.
got something like that.
Yeah, my mom died when she was 33 years old. I was 14. And being on the water, guys, brings me closer to her too.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, we all have our journey. And some of us are more. I'm jacked up in the head. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was in the army, saw some crazy stuff and everything. And that's why I tried to be humble and say, like, it's okay. It's all right. Like, you don't have a huge boat and you're not catching this monster. It's all right. You know, use what you can to do what you can and catch what you can if you can. And at the same time, you'll develop friendships like all you guys that will take you on a bigger boat and show you different things. Chris, I'll probably annoy the shit out of Chris when I'm on his boat because I'm looking at his graph.
man,
What is this?
I
How does
don't
this
mind.
work? What is that? How is it deep? Is it Chris?
I
Am I
enjoy
right?
helping guys. Charlie, you're a good
'Cause I've
friend.
never done that before.
I'm gonna help you do it. Anything that I know that I think is gonna help you become a better fisherman, I'm gonna share it.
Yep.
It's just me, man. That's just the way I am. And guys think, oh, this guy. I don't know what guy. I put myself out there, so I'm like you, Charlie. I take a ton of heat. I'm fine with it. At first it used to bother me. Now it just comes with the territory.
Yeah, it's
When you, I don't know, something about helping people pisses people off.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I had a pretty big time YouTuber.
I'm sure, Rich. I'm sure you get it too because you're a pretty helpful guy.
I
I'm
do.
sure you get a lot of crap for being helpful, and
And-
I
and
know
you know
Jesse
what?
gets it because we've had conversations about him helping somebody out and draws these haters to say, "Ooh, why are you showing locations?" And
Wait a minute, Jesse. I could barely. Did you cut your mustache off?
Shaved a couple weeks ago. Trim
Here, but I
trim
can
my
see
little
you on the
goatee.
bigger screen. No, you know how hard I try to grow one, and I'm 50 years old. Oh, look at you. Yeah, it's hard to see from the
and
little
Chris,
shadow.
and I've told you before when I see that, I let it roll off my shoulder because I remember why I do what I do. And I tend to piss them off even more when I respond back saying, hey, listen, if you want to do something, hey, come join me. Let me take you out fishing, or let me travel over to where you're at. And then you kill them with kindness,
yeah,
and you're right. And the thing is, you're going to have those when you're doing something worthy of doing. If
People
it's
are gonna hate on you.
I
if
think
it's
some
catching,
guys think, why is this guy being so freaking helpful? What's his motive? Like,
and I've had people ask that. What's my motive? What am I getting out of this? And I get dumbfounded, but I think about how society is today, and then I can understand why they're asking it because society right now is completely jacked up.
yeah, I get
And
that.
and I have to
But,
remember like the conversation we had yesterday, and I shared with you at first, I was like, whoa, where's all these questions coming from? But then I put it into perspective and understanding why these questions are being asked. It's because of a greater good. And so I always try to, I'll humble. Now there's times I'd like to snatch these keyboard cowboys by the throat. No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
yeah, there's a bunch of those guys. I
But
think social media has gotten a lot of guys way too comfortable about how they talk to people without the threat of getting punched in the face.
Yep.
Because I grew up in a time of when you talk shit, you got hit.
Yep.
And you can't do that in today's day and age. And you can go hide 10 states away and say whatever the hell you want to because you're never going to see this other person. So what does it even matter if you make some snarky comment and try to make them feel bad?
And I'm learning to let that more and more roll off.
I've had to do that as well. So I just realized there's a certain amount of people that are really probably unhappy. They don't like whatever, they don't like that Rich is helping veterans. They think, why is he help? He must be trying to screw somebody, or, why, how come Jesse's catching these giant gar? How dare he help somebody else catch one? Charlie, how dare Charlie use this drone? Who does he think he is? Doing these videos with these drones. I mean,
They think helping others is gonna hurt their fishing.
Yeah,
right.
And
right.
I bet you the people we have on this panel, I bet you if you look at all the people in the chat, I guarantee you a lot of those people, when they're doing those good things and they're sharing that, they're getting the same crap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty common. I didn't really realize it till I got big into fishing.
Jesse, you have no idea.
I told you, Jesse, you're about to find out, buddy. And it wasn't very long right after that. You're like, I start to see it, Chris. I'm like,
yeah.
And what's crazy is a lot of it's the people that you were really friendly to and helped.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you
the most. Some of these guys that I helped the most, and I never got anything in return.
So I'll give you an example. Like,
I'm the enemy now. I'm some bad guy in these people's minds. I don't know how they got the gist of that, because I helped them. I did all these nice things for them, never asked for anything in return. Somehow you become the bad guy. Why that is, I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to try to, figure that type of person out. I just figured that's an unhappy person. I'm a happy person. I got a good life. They must be just a miserable person to be
the good Lord
that way towards another human.
Like, I'll give you an example with me. Like, so I'm born and raised here, Dallas, Texas, right? I'm 50 years old. I served my United States Army for just under 10 years. I got 2 college degrees. Yes, I'm of Hispanic Mexican culture heritage, but I wasn't born there. And one day a friend of mine said, "Hey man, so what would you ever do if we went to war with Mexico?" So, well, shit, I'm gonna shoot me a lot of Mexicans if they're trying to fight against my country, America. Which, being honest, right? It's nothing like my dad was born here, my mom was born in Mexico.
Mistaken, Charlie, that because they say, well, you're Mexican, but you were born in the United States.
I'm American.
You're American.
And that is a huge, huge
Hispanic heritage, but you're American.
100%, 1,000,000,000%. So here's what's so weird, guys, is that I get a lot of hate, mostly from the Hispanic community, right? Mostly from them. And da-da-da, so you're not doing stuff in Spanish, and da-da-da, and da-da-da, and da-da-da, and da-da-da. And then I'll make a video in Spanish, and that I get 30,000 views, 25,000 views.
Well, you're in Texas too. Then, we got a lot of Spanish-speaking folks.
And subscribers go like this, look, which I don't pay attention to. I don't pay attention to subscribers or views. I just do my stuff, and that's it. It happens, it happens. And then all of a sudden, like my daughter, because my daughter's in charge of like keeping track, and she's on my Facebook. Like when I post stuff on Facebook groups, and the ones that don't like approve it and crap, she just leaves the group for me because I don't have time to do that crap. So like right now I'm in 80-something groups, right? So she'll look at that and then she'll be like, man, the views just skyrocketed, but then the subscribers skyrocketed, but then your views stay like this. So that means the Hispanic community is loving these videos. They'll click on it one time, they subscribe, and that's it, because they're not into fishing or whatever. And that's understandable, but that's not what I do it for.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it for that, then would it work? Could it not? I don't know. Mr. Beats does that crap, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to fishing, it's different. And we look at River Chronicles. If you look at my videos, they're progressing. They're becoming more and more cinematic. It's like more of it's storytelling, man. I'm telling you, if you want to make it on YouTube, it's more of a story, regardless of what that story is, whether it's catching some fish or catching a grouper. If you can make that story click, and it's gonna take time. I think it's you get man. You guys need to watch those Yeti Presents films. Some of them are old, 8, 9, 10 years old, and Patagonia. Oh my God, those some of the most incredible fishing videos or outdoor videos that I've ever seen in my life. It's like you're in a theater in North Park Mall somewhere watching an actual movie, but it's about fishing. And that investment, I think, is going to grow in the long run because right now there's tons of these young kids doing. You have no
Yeah, they
idea,
got a
Rich,
little
how
different
many.
mentality. For me, I think show respect towards other anglers. It doesn't matter what skill level you
There
are.
you go. That's it.
You
Simple
know,
as that.
I'm friends with everybody on this panel, and we have all started fishing at different times in this catfishing game. I respect Jesse. He hadn't been doing it that long. He's kicking ass. I respect him. I love Jesse. Patrick, I've known for about 2 years. I respect Patrick. He said he's been doing this hardcore for about 6 years. I respect that. Charlie, you have a completely different path, and I completely respect you. Same with Rich, man. We're all on a little different
Yeah.
trajectory. Uh, I don't try to compare myself to any other angler. I think that's where guys get pissed off towards other people. They try to compare themselves. I'm like, we're all different in our journey on this catfishing down Catfish Lane. Quit trying to compare yourself to everyone else and just do you.
And that's where the ego thing comes in, Chris. It's like if I see you doing something and like, oh my God, that's badass and da 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 da. Why can't I just not reach out to you and be like, hey brother, how do you do this? Da 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 da. That's how it should be, but people don't do that.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
Like
oh, this
my friend
motherfucker.
Animal. He says he don't feel bad, Chris. I don't get respect as a fisherman from a lot of people on here because I don't regularly catch big fish on my own, and I don't care.
There
And
you go.
me and Danimal are great friends. Okay, he's a shore angler. He's got a boat he's working on to get on the water, but he's a shore fisherman. He catches small fish, but he's out there doing it. I respect Animal. I mean, I think it's cool what he's doing, but certain people want to knock him because they think that they're better than him. And to me, he's just a good guy that fishes and has fun. And I feel the same way about all my fishing buddies. None of us are even really close to the same. We're all completely different. We all have just basically share the same passion for fishing.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Got that common thread,
Some are apples, some are oranges, but we're all fruit.
And we're all in the damn basket.
That's right. That's right.
Right. And that's how it should be. And I get it. Like we get it. But it's I don't know, it's just catching. I mean, it's just fishing, not catching, right? But I think that everyone, whether you're a super huge person on this freaking what do you call it, catamaran on the bay catching freaking bonitas and red snappers and mackerels, or you're freaking catching sunfish in the freaking pond, all those people are all great fishermen, period, because it's unique to everyone and what they see and what they do. And there's a dude, if you ever heard of him, 618 Fishing. I think the biggest fish he ever caught is like 12 pounds. And he makes some of the coolest, most entertaining videos I've ever seen. And he's got almost 1 million followers. 618 Fishing. Freaking awesome. And he'll be like, oh my God, it's a monster, it's a monster. And he pulls it out and it's like this big. But it is so awesome seeing that journey that he's going through. And and that's what it's about, guys. It's about the journey. Y'all gonna see some stuff here pretty soon with this one-on-one journey. Ooh, I have no idea.
I'm looking.
And it's not about River Chronicles. If you look at my stuff, you don't see Charlie. It says River Chronicles.
People ask me why we do the show. And I said we do the show to help people. They're like, oh, you need to promote, do this. I'm not here to try to promote myself. I don't care to try to be a big show. We're here we're about the fish. I'm not about working hard to be a big channel. I don't care about that at all. All I want to do is have fun, help the guys that are interested in what we're doing. I'm sharing my journey. I'm not trying to be a YouTube star. I don't want to be a YouTube star. I'm not ever going to be a YouTube star. I'm a
I ain't
fisherman.
got the time to be a big YouTube star.
My deal is fishing.
Yep.
And this year we've done very few live streams because I have focused more just on fishing with my son and just enjoying the moment when me
Yep.
and him are out there catching fish. Because when I'm on camera, he don't want to do hardly anything. And I do have tons of guys that want to come fishing with me, but unless they have a son, then my son becomes second priority to this guy who's asking me a million questions about how to do all this stuff. And then I'm not able to do what I'm really out there to do, which is make memories and have a good time with my son and pass it on to him. So
So that's where maybe you don't
I
fit
like fishing with
someone
Charlie because he's down to make it about my son. I love fishing with Jesse because when we fish, it was about the kids, and I love that. But I do have guys that come on and Jackson sits up at the front of the boat and doesn't partake in any of it. And when the day's over, I'm like, that's not really what I'm about.
Yeah.
That was kind of a letdown. I don't care how great a day we had.
and that's maybe when you make that
I
decision.
made a
not
mistake
taking them.
and let my son down because I didn't make it more about him and get him involved in the trip. So I've tried to do more of that this year, and I'm inviting more guys that are more willing to be more kid focused rather than them jumping up and wanting to catch the fish. Charlie's like, "Hey, Jackson, get up here."
Yep, I'll be yelling at him like, Jackson, come on.
And I think that's cool. I don't care who catches the fish unless there's a kid on the boat. I want the kid catching them.
Yeah, same. My kids come on the boat, they're for sure catching them.
Yeah,
that's
and I loved fishing with you, Jesse, when we had the boys. That's about the funnest kind of trip for me as you can have. Is a couple of kids on the boat who are chiming in and having fun and wrestling around and with these big fish. And
yeah, it was awesome, man. I'm glad we got to get out there.
yeah, we're definitely gonna have to make that a tradition because to me that's the good stuff right there, buddy.
Yeah, fired my son up about it a little more. He was kind of not wanting to go, and then after that, we going tomorrow? Heck yeah!
Yep.
Let's
There you go.
get
You
it.
just let them make that decision, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
When it's genuine, wow, you can't beat that feeling.
he's already talked about going back out with you, Chris.
Awesome, man. Well, it's almost time to hit Levon when we can really have some like world-class epic fishing trips. So I think one or two more. I mean, we could already go there right now and really have some good trips. But as soon as they go deep, man,
Yeah,
let's get those boys out there.
So, Patrick, you got any kiddos?
I got a few. None of them live with me though.
Okay, got you.
So I got a couple step kids. So, all right, well, ex-wife, but none of my kids live with me.
No, I hear you, brother.
Well, all you guys will have to come down and do some fishing.
For real.
We can take the War Machine, or we can all get on Jesse's pontoon. We can all probably fit on either one of those boats. We'll go hit Levon when we get a good cold snap. Go freaking hammer a bunch of 40s and 50s.
Guys,
I'm down.
mean to cut short, but I got to be up like
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah, this is the longest
me
show
too.
we've
I'd be
ever
the
had.
third.
So, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I appreciate everybody coming on. I knew this was going to be a good round table. Everybody's passionate about why they're doing it. Appreciate everybody coming on. We'll do it again. All you guys are always welcome. back on the show, and I'll have each one of y'all on separately again sometime soon. I'm working on getting Colton Howell multi-bar. He said he was going to watch tonight and see the format, and I think I probably got Kevin Parks nailed down soon. So both those going to be some really good shows.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're both great guys.
If we can get both those guys on, that'll be great. So again, want to say send out blessings to the people that are sick and in the hospital and not doing good, and people that are going through stuff. It's a trying time, even though it's supposed to be a happy holiday. It's seemed like this is a crazy year for it. So make sure everybody keeps those folks in their prayers and lift everybody up.
So Rebecca's home.
Yeah, Rebecca's home. She was in Charleston today getting tests, a battery of tests run on heart, blood clot, kidneys.
Yeah, I was talking to Jamie earlier. Yep.
So we'll keep her in our prayers. We'll lift everybody up, try to get us through these holidays and get everybody back on track. So anything else, guys?
No, that's it. Patrick, hit me up, brother. I'm going to be off for 11 straight days from work. So you know what that means.
Oh, man.
Last year I did.
Somebody's going to have some hurt hands.
Last year I did 6 straight days fishing every single day. But that was more like a family thing. I didn't do a video. I got the videos, but
when are you talking about? Like you off for 11 days over Christmas and stuff?
Yeah, they let us off for 11 days holiday. It depends on the calendar year and stuff.
Yes,
I'll have 4 days off. Let me talk to my girlfriend.
All right,
brother, hit me up.
This weekend we're going. My son's turning 8. We got a big birthday party for him. Then we're going Saturday night. We're going to Ryan Bingham concert. Sunday he's got his soccer party. We're off the lake this weekend. Next weekend I'm fishing hard. So anybody wants to go fish, hopefully we get a front rolls through. We can go catch some 50s.
Yeah, I'll be on the Cooper River Saturday, like I said, Saturday with Mike Harris before I head back up to Virginia. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
I'm fishing this weekend. I just don't know where yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping to fish. I got plans Sunday, but get out there.
Yeah, holiday season gets pretty tough to lock down the fishing trips, but I usually can slip off for a day here and there.
I've been trying, but I've been working too late. I just got home when I logged on.
I know every day I'm like, damn, this looks like some damn good fishing weather.
See, where I drive to work, I drive over Lake Louisville every single day. So I see it going to work and coming back. Going to work.
Last time I fished was Sunday, man. We had a west front hitting. Man, it was tough fishing. We still
all right, guys. Well, I'm out of here.
Same here,
Rich,
guys.
appreciate you, buddy. For all the
guys.
Y'all welcome to come back anytime. So tight lines. God bless. Azul out.
We'll see y'all on the water.
Adios.
See you guys.